everything not written. So no man-made or free will, self-will, idolatry, and you divorced your bride for exactly that, idolatry. So he spoke all this into existence. Remember, the most God or the most high, God is a title, but thank you, Father, for the tongue, for speaking all this into existence. Thank you for creating, again, not written. So if it's going to be written, Father created that before the foundation of the world. Thank you for creating everything that ever will be. So if it hadn't happened yet, Father created it. Thank you, Father, for that. Thank you for creating evil, Father. Isaiah 45:7, calamity and chaos to test, not tempt, but to test the bride, the ones that'll have their inheritance, the ones that will have their crown to set at the feet of Shiloh, the lamb, the lion, right? Thank you, Father, the writer, the author, the creator, and you blot your name out of that book of life. You're the editor, self. You're driven by your eyes. He divorced his bride for exactly that. On in 6, to love, Father. Father is the word. Do you love the word, or do you have some alien tongue? Dialectus glossa. No such thing in fairy tales. The Saturnalia, little festivals of going round and round on the wheel of Yule, feast of the Masse, of the eating of cannibalistic children flesh, Moloch or Krampus, Kronos, Saturn, Christmas. Thank you, Father, for creating this evil. Thank you for creating all things, everything not written. If it hadn't been written, he pushed the man's hand to write everything that ever will be, and only those who follow Father's will, Agape, Shem, his Shem. Agape, to love Father, to walk and follow in the commandments, and he commands you to go bear witness, take up your thalipsis, tribulation. Through much tribulation we must go through to see that kingdom of heaven, and that's not in the sky. Worshipping in the sky is Saturn, Satan, Helios, Saturn, the sun god, or Saturn, that's Satan. Satan is adversary. To worship the sky or anything, he does not want us to go after gods in the sky. That's why he divorced his bride, Israel, not some place in the desert. That's Old Testament. Now it's all flesh, man and woman, Jew and Gentile, white, black, brown, red, and yellow, like 12 eggs in a dozen, all flesh. But only those who go through suffering through the narrow way to the straight gate. He tells us that in Matthew. Enter through the straight gate. Broad is the way that leads to the abyss. There is no such thing as heaven above your head, or hell is the word no knowledge. No bis is knowledge. No knowledge is foreign dialect. You have a split tongue. He said, don't add a jot, period. I'm not kidding. I am playing. Father's Old Testament, one sin, death. Aaron and Levite. The rest, everybody was Gentiles. Remember, Jews and Gentiles? Now it's all flesh. This Testament, new. Remember, he was the testor of that will. Are you doing your will? No free will. That is idolatry. Remember, he divorced his bride, and he said he would have a wedding feast of the lambs, and he would call their Shem. They're girded in my service. He said, lamps trimmed but burning bright, right? In my service. So those are his disciples, the servants, those who serve and bear the witness of his tongue, not foreign alien. We have to do add a jot. That's a glossa or yod, jot, is not above your head. No knowledge. Like Masse, the eating of flesh, like crumbs. They're doing it again today. Eating of the flesh through the Yule log, the feast of Yule, like the baby lamb, like the ewe. That is hypocrisy. He said you must be as esteemed as the potter's clay, turn their works upside down. Your works are supposed to be girded in his service, not of the world. He said, come out of her, my people. Do not partake. Do not partake. Do not judge them by their cover. You'll know them by their fruit. He doesn't want you to sup with vipers or cash your pearls. Where are you putting your treasure? Heaven's not above your head. The heavens declare the glory of God. The firmament declares his handiwork. And he said, there would be signs in the stars, sun, and moon, but we're not supposed to worship. Can you not read Jeremiah? Oh, heareth what the Lord say, O Israel, learn not the way of the heathens. Be not dismayed at the ways of the signs of the firmament, for the heathens are they are dismayed. He doesn't want you to cause you fear by, oh, things coming from the sky. You're supposed to be loving the word, not gods in the sky and your own tongue. This is the still Saturnalia, the feast. They thought there was a goddess of heaven spinning the Big Dipper around the north star pole. Well, what are we doing modern day? The Masse, Christ's Mass. This is this pole worship. God's in the sky. Father is not in the sky. Father is written on the hearts of the bride. It's in the book of Colossians. Remember what's written on stone, right? He said, hear what the Lord say, Israel, Old Testament, Aaron and Levite, now all flesh, but not everybody. Yes, learn not their ways and be not dismayed at the size of the heaven. Learn not their customs. You doing this today, this pole tree god, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter, that is Apollyon, abyss. Remember Revelation 9 and 11? They'll have a king, an angelos, or a angel, or a messenger. Angels don't have wings, and gods are not in the sky. He is the most God, most high, El. Do you study the word? People are ruled by their foreign alien tongue. Don't add a jot or a tittle. He said, I'll blot your name out of that book of life. And if you don't have a crown to set at the feet of Shiloh, you'll have to go into the Old Testament where one sin was death. Man, or under this New Testament, add one jot death, one tittle death, one letter. I'll blot your name out. Book of Colossians 2 and 14, once written on tables of stone, is now blotted out with that sacrifice that he paid. Remember, in blood. Remember, he used to have a sacrifice. Remember, he told his Abraham, take your son Isaac and sacrifice. Remember the thicket? Remember, he caused one of us to stumble. He tells us if we cause a divide in his flock, we're going to go to that Revelation 9:11, the broad way that leads to the wide gate, which is the abyss, hell, no knowledge. They're doing it again. Masse is the eating of flesh. Krampus. See, Old Testament, Father required the sacrifice, but not to eat flesh. That's Masse, M-A-S-S-E, Masse, eating of human flesh. Christ is a pagan term, never ever once written in the text. That means anointed in oil, and that was the Hamashiach who hung from a tree, not a cross. Nobody cares what a cross is. He tells you to bear your cross. Remember in Luke, as his sister chapter, first in Matthew, right? Who shall ever come after me? Let them deny themselves. That's idolatry. The reason he divorced his bride Israel. God's in the sky. Jeremiah 10. Oh, hear what the Lord say, Israel. Learn not the ways of the heathens, the signs in the firmament, the heathens to be dismayed at them. Learn not their customs. We went through this last year. We do this every year. Pole worship, brothers and sisters, just like the pagans that were here were here in America when they did this 1492, and I'm not going to go into this modern day of that, but yep, they're still doing it again. Washington outlawed Christmas. It's an orgy. Christmas is an orgy, an old Roman Saturn festival of the sun god, Krampus, remember? Or Kronos, the timekeeper, the one that has that halo. Halo is the serpent, the one, the one with the crown. Well, you better have your crown that is set at the feet of Shiloh. Remember, he said, the scepter shall not depart from Judah until Shiloh returns. And he wants to have remember, he said, you must have your loins girded in not idolatry. Remember, that's your will, self-will, not free will. You have to do Father's will, and that is agape. And again, that is to walk and follow in my commandments, as he tells us. Deny yourself daily, take up your cross daily, and follow after me daily. So we need to do exactly what Christ did. If we're going to use that pagan term, Christ, that's never written in the text. Christ is not a term, nor is this Lord. He says you can't serve two masters. That's your master. You use the word Lord. That's a pagan term, never written. I'm just giving you fair warning. He will hold us accountable for our tongue. I've made mistakes in the past, but I've hopefully in this ministry given you the highlight of the ministry is to start studying one word at a time. You need to unlearn and relearn one word at a time, because Father is the word. And again, I'm not mistaken. This was all spoken into existence. That is the word Hokadesh, if you want to write it down, meaning spirit. Ruach, meaning whole or without blemish, without blame. As remember, Paul told us, the inner man, he cannot sin, because Father is not in the sky. Father is the Word, and now that's written on hearts of the bride, fleshy tables with that bride price that he paid. Remember, there is no celebration or fee or fine. Father hates fees. Remember, he turned over. Remember, well, the Word became flesh, the Hamashiach, the one hung from a tree, not a cross, and he turned over the money changers' tables and he whipped. I'm not calling for physical violence, but the people selling, because you turned my Father's house into a den of thieves. So if you're not trying to find some God in a house, the most God, the most high, the most, yes, Father, he said he doesn't dwell in temples, and he always declares twice, the most high doesn't dwell in temples made by hands. Remember, there's two kings and there's two crowns. The one that has the key to the pit, when they put a crown on him when they hung him from a tree, not on a cross. Nobody ever carried crosses. Hope you're not celebrating this Masse cross. We've done it. That's the swastika, which is a symbol that's been inverted. Time Magazine's Man of the Year. Mr. Kind of like Mr. Warp Speed, modern day, the final Trump, if you will, but it's not for me to remember. That's the last shofar. They'll blow that ram's horn. That's the number 7. That's this final seal. Remember, have your lamps trimmed, be girded in my service. Do not partake in their unfruitful works of darkness. Do not be dismayed at the ways of the signs of the firmament. Learn not their customs, their traditions, their celebration of their orgy, like their Masse, the eating of the flesh. They'd have an orgy for 7 days on their Saturn equinox ritual festival of the Yule, where they would have a party and have man sex with women and man and bestiality. Their God is 3 in 1. They're Christ, they're Baphomet, they're transgender God. Yes, remember? Eat your kids, Krampus, Santa. They're doing it again every year. And then you want people say this is the smartest generation, the greatest ever. Well, then why can't these people figure out that this is a Roman orgy? Kind of like the French or the Franks. Remember, they ate Mardi Gras. Same thing. They just robbed it and brought it into a more modern version of having sex with, man, beast, and woman. That's just horn, hoof, and beast. Remember? Breast. Their God has breast. So if your God has breast, Father is no feminine. The body of the Hamashiach, right, is his house, right? He is the temple, high priest of this modern day temple. Your body's a temple, and you had 1 day a year. Now, where there are 2 or 3 gathered into my Agape Shem authority, there I'll be. You're not going to find him in a temple. It's written on hearts of the bride, brothers and sisters. I hope you understand. Heaven is not above your head, and hell's not below your feet. Do you live on put a 1 in the chat if you live on a planet. Let's see what we got in here. Let's just slow it down. We'll just, Masse, eat your kids. How much? Here's your sign. All right, moving on. Who we got in here? Eli's in here. Thanks for coming in. Connections in there. So you guys will give you an update here. So tell me what I'm talking about. What do we talk about here? Saturnalia. Throw your kids in the fire. Eat your kids. They're doing it again. 25, 10, right? Their decimate, 12. Whatever. 12, 25. Here we are, 25. Is this the smartest generation, or where are we at? Went and got some meat, so I feel a little bit better, but still toxic from being yesterday. But you got to do this. This is we'll get up here in a little bit. Get a few of the regulars in here. We'll go flip it up and turn around, and we'll take you through the ages and go back and forth in time, not like Mr. Warp Speed. Gotta get back in time. That's about Mr. Warp Speed, by the way. Go watch it. Go see Informed Christians. Watch the movie Back to the Future. It's 15 seconds. So, who we got in here? What's going on, YouTube? Why, thanks for always shadow banning this chat, because Father created YouTube. Father created all things. So, yeah. No free will, no luck. No gods in the sky. That's Satanism. If you worship anything over your head, you're a Satanist and a heathen and an idolater. So you can't go in the sky. You can't go up your head and stop it. You're worried about you can't even figure out what's on the ground right in front of you. Why don't you even try to go over your head? They don't even know what's in the ocean. They figure out, we're going to go to the moon. You one of those lunatics? How many lunatics we got in here? Sound off with, hey, at least nobody's come in and said something silly. Like Mary had a little lamb. Her fleece, no. That's why you got snowed over, didn't you? You little snowball. So, are you going to eat your kids or eat sugar? Remember, they used to bake hot cross top buns to their Ishtar, Samarimus, April Fools. Remember the silly rabbit? He had sex with his mom like a rabbit. Tammuz, the son of Christmas. Krampus. Little ball on top of the tree. Remember, son? Hey, ho, hey, you wonder where all the Santas at? Or, I mean, I wonder where all the hoes are at? Ask Santa. Gosh, you guys are quiet. Thanks for keeping her quiet in here so I can continue to run your rice round the wheel, throw your kids in the fire, throw the Yule log. Yule, you as a baby lamb. They're mocking you, Christians. Pretty soon they'll probably have some robots for you. Maybe they'll throw them up in the sky and they'll drop them on top of you and you'll think they're aliens. Alien is a word. There's no such thing as an alien. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe in aliens. Can't believe in anything, but go ahead. Father created all things. Thanks for everything not written, Father. Thanks for everything that ever will be. Father created all things, and if it hadn't happened yet, Father created it. So you can't make anything, can you? Because Father actually created it. So you're just, you get a 0, 1, 0, 1. So we got 17 is what I see. Obviously, thanks to a Shadow Band channel for years, and it's not about numbers. We want quantity, not quality, right? Oh, yeah. Get out of here. We throw more people out. No, we want the quality. If you're not producing fruit, one bad apple upsets the whole apple cart. Like leaven's the whole lump. We can't have you here. Adios, muchacho, amigo. Nothing going on in your neck of the woods. Dashing through the snow. Man, I can't wait till this 25 is. There's not 2025. Put a 2025 if you think it's 2025 in the chat. Then we can get you out of here. It's not 2025 and God's not in the sky. Alf was the best alien. Thank you, Ryan. That's pretty good. Alf. You got look like an anteater all kind of stood up, right? No. Oh, wait, hold on. I was doing some Fraggle Rock in my head. My head's all a little bit after. It's all right. All things happen after his cat, so Father doesn't make any mistakes. Remember, thanks for everything not written. Is somebody going to write it? He said, pushes the man's hand. Man, woman, under this covenant, right? Think about that. He pushes the man's hand. I don't know. Do the math in your head. You see what I'm saying? I'm not feeling very well, guys. I feel horrible. Thanks for coming in. I'm only talking gospel. Anything else? All right, good for you. Thanks for coming in. Yeah. Only gospel in here. The gospel tells us not to celebrate. The gospel says, come out of my people. The gospel says, through much tribulation, through Paul's writings. Remember the one that's written on tables of hearts with that beard blood that he paid, they ripped out of his face, you know, stabbed him, knowing that we didn't hang from a cross. They would hang you from a tree. Don't read Jeremiah. They don't, actually, never mind. Don't worry about it. You're not going to turn a goat into a sheep. So, you did, I know, you're full of it. So, get this one with this B flat out of here. He's got, well, maybe it's just flatulence. But why did you fart, man? What's going on with you? Too much genetically modified food eating that store-bought, bagged, or canned poison. Which flavor would you like today? So, put some fruit in here, I'll throw you out. Hey, a couple times, and, you know, people make mistakes, but don't leave your crap here, please. Take this somewhere else. Smells like cows and a bunch of horse. How about that? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can lead a person to piss, but you can't make them. Piss is the word knowledge. You can lead a person to knowledge, but you can't make them think. Tell me why a horse doesn't drink water. Is anybody going to put anything in here? So what are you doing on this Masse? Are you eating flesh? Eat your kids? Just another day. Yeah. Kronos. Remember? That's the god of Saturn. The time. Saturn. Remember they had their Saturnalia. It was their, they thought the sun was dying, so they prayed to Saturn, or, well, the sun was dying, so they prayed to Saturn. Remember the Saturnalia? Got too many interruptions. hold in. Keep an eye on your chimney. Because we don't have a chimney, he squeezed under that little crack in the door. He fit through the... Get out of here. Get out of my space. Through the keyhole. Hey guys, when I was in there, I just can't stand him. Everybody says, "You love by the world, you be hated by my father." They had that one commercial. Those people watch. Hold on. There's more of this. All right, keep ourselves nice and warm here in the cabin. All right. Another name. Cool. Thanks for coming in again, Jonathan. Appreciate PAD. All right, Jonathan the carpenter showed up yesterday. Appreciate it. Hadn't done any me. I saw you did email me. I had just ate some farm fresh eggs today for breakfast, so that helped. But I'm not, it didn't help. It's just in the moment that I'm eating, not the a few things I was eating in there. But appreciate you coming in. Like these guys, like Terminator, who's going to come back. Good to see you again. I'll be back. Thanks for your time, man. All right, so again, if you've been in the channel, anybody knows. I mean, we live in an age where we're supposed to be so absolutely brilliant. People still figured out that George Washington banned the Saturnalia, or eat your kids, throw your kids in the fire. They feed you and then throw you in a cage, like they did me for 23 days for celebrating Christmas. And look what they're doing today. How many people? The whole world's doing it. It's not 2025. So remember Jeremiah 10. Turn not the way of the heathens, be not dismayed at the signs of the firmament, for the heathens are dismayed at them. Learn not their customs, their traditions, their will. For one cutteth the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They cut it down, they bring it home and deck the halls with boughs of, they deck it with silver, like tinsel or balls of gold and silver, and stand it upright, erect, like the phallic, like Saturnalia, the rebrand of the birth of the tree, standing up like a phallic upright. Here we go with pole worship, Nimrod, get it? Get your blood pumping there or what, guys? Never mind. But anyways, that's worship the phallic. Remember Ishtar, when Christmas or Kronos or 10, 25, well, 10, see, I'm old. 12th year or 12th month, December, Decami. See, it's just confusing to me. It just, something happened, I'm still, and not that it's old, but the New Year's does not start in the middle of the winter. December is Decami, like a 10, like not a deck of cards, Joker, but two jokers in here. Remember those two thieves and those witnesses? He said, right there on your cross, he wasn't hung on a cross, he was hung on a tree. Oh, here we go, standing up at the tree of Nimrod. Remember, for one cut of the tree out of the forest. I just went over it in Jeremiah 10, but they're doing it again. They throw you in jail. It's an orgy, remember? Have sex with man, beast, and woman. It's worshiping of the transgender God with breast. Their God is three gods and one God. The three in one God. This comes like some sales pitch on you, something. I'm like, here, look at it. Let's read to the kids. Whoa, we need to stop that, huh? I was in jail. They're going to do another show, more shows, pushing this on this 3-in-1. Come on by, and next thing you know, you'll be giving it a try. Leave that in the closet, please. All right, we have to go old school on it. I told you something a little, I just said it's too much toxins I brought through. I cannot say that I ate good. I hardly ate and I hardly slept, and I got home even, and today or yesterday, and I didn't even sleep last night in my floating pillow bed, like I felt like I was floating, and I like fuzzy little blankets wherever, so I got to think for that when I lay down. But I mean, it couldn't have been any more comfortable. I felt like it just on my back. It wasn't hurting my back because it's so, yeah, I didn't sleep but about 2 hours, maybe an hour. I don't know. I don't think I even really felt like I was sleeping, and I just kept hearing the fire, popping the noise, and So it was just, but it was okay because I needed to lay down, but still feeling pretty toxic from the, I just told you yesterday on the stream. I feel like I remember there was a time where I had to take that Oxycontin because I'd been in multiple car accidents and have a lot of problems with my back and, sciatica. And I don't want to go into all of it, but I only took it for a few months and it's the worst I've ever felt in my life, ever. Ever, I'd rather go through the pain than ever go through that again, I always said. And it's the taste in my mouth more than anything, too, that's so familiar that I feel like I had to take that. And that's time-release morphine. I don't want to take morphine like heroin, like I never wanted to take it to begin with. And so, but I had to do this because of just the way that things were. And it just turned out, but I didn't take it for long and I quit taking it. It's the worst I've ever felt in my entire life. Then the sciatic, I can't get up off the ground. If you never had sciatic, I want to go ahead and I'm doing good right now. I'm not shrimped over. And I don't know if you know what nerve pain is. That's what sciatic is, a pinching of your sciatic nerve. And that's a lot different. I broke, almost not everybody like Paul when they threw him off a cliff and threw rocks on top of him, but I'm pretty smashed back there. The lower, when I lay down and, that's why sometimes it doesn't bother me. I don't want to go lay down in that bed because then I got to readjust my whole spine at the end of the day. I go through the whole thing and then I get back up again and put the, and that's just a Anyways, I just feel like that. I feel like I've been gassed, like I've been I want to go into all of it. It's like too much TV too. You know what I'm saying? The toxic TV, and all they do is watch cop shows but anyways, other, what I'm saying, and then the commercials are horrible. I just couldn't take it. It was it's like a beat or a chant, or they just keep playing these same commercials over and over and over and over. So, cool. Yeah, I just don't want to disclose. Like I said, I got to just get through this next. I'm just trying to take it a day at a time right now. I don't know how Father's giving me the strength to do it. Yeah, and it's just a repetitive thing too, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but I made it through it. All glory to Shiloh. He created all that. He put me there, and I told everybody, I'm not, even there was found one other person that was in there just where I'm supposed to be. This is right where he wants me to be. I'm not, Father, don't make no mistakes. If he wanted it different, wouldn't be here. It's not the end of the world. Somebody's watching pants. I think my cat got run off, but maybe he'll find his way back. Because I was gone. I think Kevin's cat's a little bigger than him, and he's a little bit older, and this cat got a thing for Juniper, and gosh, that cat, guys, that's kind of why I know it was up. This is so amazing. I'll just share it with you like Sabrina, okay? At night, I lay down and I don't think about anything, and I don't really pray to Father because pray means to have face-to-face time with him. And when I was young in spirit and walked young in the days in this, I'm eternal, so let's not do numbers or how old you think I am. I'm older than all of you combined in the room. How about that? All right. So, well, anybody start with the gospel. Let's see where, what the gospel, start helping out in here, and let me see how old you are. Maturity. Remember the number maturity? You got to be 7 to be mature. All right. Moving on. So, but I don't know. I'm eternal. How about that? So don't put years on me. Thanks. I never die. Death is a doorway, or one day the doorway closes another way. I get to go back to be to Hokadesh. Wrestle not against flesh, Paul said. So it's a struggle carrying this meat bag around, but we all got to do it, and we have to endure to the end if we want to be the purchase. We don't get a choice, but for the purchase of possession, we have to endure. We can't step out of the meat suit early. Our day of death's already written. You do that, self-will. How are you going to be with Father if you got to endure to the end to be saved? Sozo. Nobody's being saved, can't be saved. He purchased his bride already. That's redemption. Nope, that's mine. I bought it. Those are mine, Father. Those are the ones that were saved when I saved all flesh. These are the ones who stood up to the perverted law like I did. The one who stood up to perverted religion like I did, like the feast of the Saturnalia, or when the deadly head wound that was healed in Scripture, when Constantine combined it, Catholicism, paganism with Christianity to create that, Catholicism, Christianity, paper Christians. I like that one. I picked that one up. That guy, paper Christian. I said, I like that. You know, people just, they don't know the word. They look at the paper, but they don't know what the words say. It's just, remember, he puts the hand to pen, right? Pushes the man's hand, woman's hand. So there you go. I mean, it's so obvious. So obvious. So yeah, like the nose on your face, right? So, but anyways, we got to remember that Father puts us all where we need to be. He doesn't make mistakes. We make by self-will, but if we're doing Father's will and he created all things, everything not written, the ones that will be written, well, his disciples are the ones. You better go back to the book of Matthew and Luke. Let's not, I don't want to, brothers, sisters, you're on your own. I ain't going to be there with you. We're all going to have a crown, remember? If you don't have that crown, there's one, remember that crown that has, remember, put a crown of thorns on them, if you don't have that crown, you're going to gnash teeth. Anybody want to define what that is? Stop all this religious nonsense. We're just going to talk one word at a time, words in this sentence passage where he talks about the ones he throws in, the hypocrites. Well, first he deals with the false teachers. Anybody who adds to his book will be blotted out, but those are the ones he deals with first. So he shouldn't talk about his word. He is the word, unless you know what you're talking about. Yeah, well, all right. So judge everybody righteously. The golden rule, man. Gold, right? See the price of gold and silver? All right, so, well, no, do unto others as you have done unto the measure you pour out on others will be poured back out on you, right? You act as a corporation, you can be judged as a corporation. He stood up against the corporation, the church, and the law. He did. He turned over the money changer tables with the people selling the doves. I'm not calling for a revolution. I'm calling for evolution. Get out of the system, not the growing an opposable thumb. If man evolved from apes, why are there still apes? Get out of here, monkey. Barrel of monkeys. Like a game to these people. I'm not doing it. Whatever. Oh, Rubik's Cube. You're peeling the stickers off. You ain't doing it right. Cheating. You ain't cheating. There ain't no such thing. You stack the deck. Father knows where the dice will land or where the cards will fall. He created all things. If it ain't even fell yet, he knows which number they'll land on. Because that's my creator. That's the one I love. That's why I put my neck out there. He said, if you were loved by the world, you'd be hated by my Father. And he said, they hated me for they hated you. So if you were loved by the world, that means all rich people go to hell. All famous people go to hell. Well, it'd be easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man through the gates of heaven. And Trump's answer was, I'm going to build a microscopic line of camels and I'm sparing no expense. So you tell me. There were more than 3 men riding camels. Okay, remember, they were watching for signs and the stars. All right. We're going to get that one redone, by the way. I will, eventually, hopefully. So, we're going to redesign that one. Up this arm, so. I use it to teach. You'll see it when it's done, but I'm not ready for that. I think I might put a crown on first. I think I need one more crown. So, you'll know what I'm talking about if you were here yesterday. I kind of made a mention. Just something that kind of came to me when I was in there, and it's just scripture. Remember 3:11, I come quickly, let no one take your crown. So if you don't know what crown is, you probably need to shut up and stop talking about and tell me you're some religious person that knows. I don't care who you are. If you got a biblical, degree in, whatever biblical. Bible's a book, it's scripture. Listen here, man, what are you, stoned? It was written on stone, now it's written on hearts of the bride, on fleshy tables. I wonder if that's a stone table. He said, don't sup with vipers, or don't cash your pearls. Maybe that crown's got some pearls in it, or well, like a necklace. Never mind, I had to throw a little humor in there for a second. Can't be all business all the time. Freedoms, no, there's no freedom, no such thing as freedom or free will. So, but I'm out. Getting out, that's an app. Darn it. All right, but I think you know that, Phil. But there, have a long. This has just started. Again, just started. I cannot believe where I'm at. So, believe is not a thought in my head; it's an action word. So, I got a long way to go. You don't believe it. Believe it's not a thought in your head. So don't believe the hype. How we doing? Thank you for not coming in telling me happy anything. Happy, joy, or some kind of, I don't know, that come off some cartoon where which one you might guys be able to tell me that. I heard that in the background or something. So, why don't do cartoon characters, big fat guy, what do you say, overweight guys sliding through keyholes or under the door or through somebody. Eli was waiting by his chimney. Thanks for coming in. I think that was Eli. Come on, brain work. Tell me I'm still working. Tell me if you're still in here, Eli. That's right. Thank you. That's not hard to figure out, right, Nathan? So 2025 is pagan. Anything in the sky, if any of you think anything's come from the sky, please leave. Nothing's coming from the sky. There's no gods in the sky. Leave now. Gotta take your 2 big feet. I'm not gonna hear this. Chewbacca had Wookiee, or with Anakin Skywalker, they had a threesome, have Wookiee with an Ewok. Now we got big feet. Please leave. Happy. Ram on the back of the wall. Yep, they brought the lamb. Right, he was the Lamb of God. That's the Word became flesh. Father, I am. Before he comforted, I am. He said, Peter, remember? Before Abraham was, he said, I am. So that makes Father the Ram. So, Ram. They blow the horn, the ram's horn. You got a cough or something? Ricola. Get this guy some drops. Get him out of here. Drop him. No, he could take his 2 big feet, remember? He thought Chewbacca had threesome with Anakin Spacewalker. How about that? There's no gods in space. There's no such thing as space. Get away from me. If there's space, you need to go. Is anybody in here believing? Because believe's a verb. It's not a thought in your head, idiot. Idiots. You just don't know. We never heard. So I'm not giving an insult. You're an idiotus. Like ignoramus. Try to tell somebody they're ignorant or an idiot and they won't listen to you. They'll get all offended. Probably they're woke. Hey, good morning. Somebody die? Why are you mourning? Did you wake up and you had to wake and you're mourning and yeah, no fallen angel tech. Thank you. They've had magnets since the beginning of time in copper, and you spin copper around a magnet that makes a toroidal field. The Torah, the Old Testament, it's all spoken into existence. It's electric. Oh, sorry. That's right. We do need to believe, right? Because he said, I want to find you believing in me. He did say that, though, remember? But believe is an action word. Your loins girded, your lamps trim and burning bright in my service. Let's not get it twisted, sisters. You know me, I keep it straight. Right? Well, I just let Father speak for me. All glory to Shiloh, he created all things. That's your mother, and your mother instructs you with the word. So your brothers and your sisters are your mother, 2 John and 6, that do the Father. Your brothers and your sister are your mother. Father does not have flesh. He said, I am. So we know he is the Lamb that David declared the Lamb, which makes Father the Ram, the one who said, put your son Isaac and sacrifice him, remember? See, these people don't know the word, brothers and sisters. Remember, there is no Christmas in Scripture, so that should be hard to debunk. I mean, it's not 2025. God's not in the sky. You can't go to space because there is no space. You can get out of my space, and it's Mr. Spacewalker, Anakin Space. Anak is where the giants were. They weren't in the sky. They were here in... Hello, Gaza, you ding-dong, you ho-ho, you snowball. Thought I'd play a little tennis with you or something. Well, puffy white balls, I'll throw them at you. Get it? You want to have a snowball fight? So eat them, eat them. They don't have to have a fight. They just like, oh, I'll take the snowballs and the ho-hos. And you want to know where all the hos are at? Ask Santa. Get that one? Ho-ho-ho? All right. Let's throw a little humor in there for a minute. So... whatever, I mean, I'm not judging unrighteously. I'm judging righteously. Anybody who would even think that it was an outlaw, it's an orgy. Christmas is an orgy. It's the Saturnalia Chronos. Eat your kids. Remember McDonald's? Oh, never mind. I shouldn't have said. Remember, Sorry, all right, we could have done that, but people still take and still go to the store and poison themselves. And the elite are like, right? The elite, what I call them that? Well, that's, the ones that don't eat this food. They're like, Campbell's, remember? We don't eat the Campbell's soup, and they still have soup commercials for Campbell's. Is anybody still buying Campbell's? Remember, I told you, if it's not on a bone, don't eat it. It's grown in a lab. Huh? Remember, I don't eat all this stuff. It's not what goes in a man that defiles a man or a woman, Jew, Gentile, man, woman, all flesh in this covenant. Don't get it twisted. But you are what you eat. How about that? Our grandparents taught us that. Dad taught us that. Mom taught us that. They taught my dad and my mom, and what happened to that? They're like, here, have a whole half rack of, well, antifreeze, Mountain Dew, pretty much colored, well, antifreeze colored or whatever, flavored. Hey, actually use Coke as a pesticide, a very price efficiently used pesticide in countries. It is as a pesticide. They do that. You take a penny and put in there on the zinc penny. Woo, see, keep putting that in your body. I did it for decades. Not anymore. Not anymore. Ricola. Get this guy a cough drop. Yeah, well, I'm saying at this time, are you that? I mean, you have the interweb, right? To search and research. Blind Mouse, yeah, it's kind of it's like Alice in Wonderland. They just went down that rabbit hole. I ain't seen them since. Said something doing there was puffing on some hookah and some worms, and I don't know. They must be doing some of that other. Oh, that's natural. Where are you getting the DMT from? Feel like I've been drugged, guys. I don't know what they did to me in there, but maybe it's just food. I don't know. Maybe it's lack of sleep. It messed me up pretty hard. So I'm not griping like that because Father's perfect. He don't make mistakes. I needed to be there, and I know why now I went. And so it is what it is. Just have to move on, carry on, move out, draw fire, snowball. Watch out. That's my Christ Mass special. Remember, they go into the wilderness, brothers and sisters. The giants, Anunnaki. That's the Anunnaki or giants, not gods in the sky. Nothing's coming from the sky, so they're doing it again. They're going to do that. Be ready. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding you. Yeah. Drink water. Every time I do that, I'm telling you, it makes this worse. But I know what it's doing. Oh, part of me yesterday. Oh, after I finally took a drink of my Berkey water, I was like, oh, because it normally just rocks my world the other way. Oh, that Berkey's so much better. Right? If you don't have a Berkey, you suck. I don't care. Go get like some cans, sell a couch, sell some of that stuff over on that wall, a couple of those trinkets, do a garage sale. Go get a Berkey. If you don't know Berkey, please leave. Seriously. That's my preference. You don't have to like what I like. Remember, some guys might like. No, I won't do that. But no, if you're not filtering your water, you're doing yourself a disservice. So because the water in that thing charges me like it charges some people with an energy drink. Might not do it to you. Stop eating sugar and see if it works for you. The less sugar I eat, the more I don't eat sugar anymore. Like that. I mean, I quit eating now 2 bread. I mean, I did have a burger today because I went into town, but I don't buy bread. I don't buy pasta. I have lots of pasta to put away, but I'm saying I don't, not anymore. I'm not doing it. And so that's pretty much, I ate bread and a little bit in there because I don't know. There were some things I ate, but I isolated my trays, all I can tell you. And I should have never done that. I stayed away from the pepperoni. Okay, so they'll bring them back in a sense that they'll bring them back because it's scriptural. It'd be as in days of Noah. Remember, was the sign of the return of Hamashiach, of Christ. Remember, they would be partying and celebrating and giving unto marriage and building, and it had no idea. It came upon them like a thief in the night. Remember, it said that the return of, and there were giants in the land of days of Noah. So I told you, everything they're going to do that was in that book, they're going to push the hand to make it do a physical ritual, but there is no physical destined. They do Hokadesh spirit. Remember, they don't do physical. No free will, no luck, no physical. Wrestle not against flesh. That's what Paul was telling us. If you're mature enough to know what, so. But then they use this pervert. Remember, to twist, change, add, warp, speed, or Godspeed, take away. God's titles. That's not ever written in text too, by the way. So. Well, they do it. And so now their gods are in the sky. And so if they can have people thinking that gods are in the sky, and they got people thinking that Anakin Skywalker had a Wookiee with an Ewok, or, well, he had a threesome with Chewbacca, and now we got big feet on this rock. If you think there's big feet, then you probably think there's flying big feet flying around, and they shaved them, or maybe they got, I don't know. They'll have them in all, hey, if a sex doll can squirt or get hard, then they can make a big robot. that'll come down and be like, hey, Nimrod, you want to have a water party? So, like Noah, it'd be the days of Noah. This time be fire, brothers, sisters. He's going to bring the fire. Don't worry about water. He's not going to flood the whole rock, although it's pretty wet out here, too. Probably the whole atmospheric rivers, huh? Hope you're a red eye to go. He's going to come back with eyes of fire, feet of fire. He's going to bring the fire. How do you think he's going to do that? Not you. It's not you. Get up. So, I'm not sure if we're going to have a whole lot of interruption here because I've gone, last time I streamed, wouldn't have a whole lot. I do believe there's a lot of people online right now, and we do have weather and have an effect, especially when you don't have, I have Verizon and I am pretty used to the better signal in the valley. I have some of the better, but it happens. So I don't want to work right now. Try to keep, I'll just restart the stream. So that works sometimes, or the weather just out here. Like I said, I live out in the middle of the desert, so it happens sometimes. So we've got a little while with it working pretty well. So I think it should work all the time, no matter what, but I'm not going to give you my opinion on that. We'll just leave that, alone. So outstanding. Thank you for that 5x5, Sabrina. So we know we're back for a minute. So, windy out here. All things are a bunch of stuff. My stuff, a bunch of stuff blown over. Remember that little temporary wall that I made, or the building or something. I'll get it better here. It's just something. It was something. If you've seen it out here, it was at business front that I'd made. I didn't think the winds. We had like 100-mile-an-hour winds out here. It's been windy at this end. I tell everybody, what are you going to do when you go outside and it's blowing 200 miles an hour for 200 weeks? Oh, no, 2 weeks straight. 200 weeks. That's silly. Okay, but anyways, could you go for a week straight? If the wind was blowing for 200 miles an hour for a week straight, what do you think the side of your house would look like with stuff hitting at 200 miles an hour? It's like F5, hurricane, Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been out of the net, you know what I'm saying? But they've been putting me in a cage. So Father did. They didn't. Father did. Father made him, but Father made him do it. He pushes the man's hand. Man, woman, one race, the human race, remember? No gods in the sky in here, no colors. Don't do colors here. They're going to tell me that he held his breath too long and he looked like a Papa Smurf, or she looked like Smurfette or some avatar, right? Oh, remember Spock was the first one on television to... All right, never mind. No. Oh, wait, hold on. That wasn't Spock. Oh, yeah, that was... Oh, that was Mork from Orc, remember? Gods in the sky, lizard gods, changing. I don't know what's going on with them. Seriously, I don't know what's going on with me, but I'm not worshiping God's box, Cabra, and go around and around the box, and Saturnalia, and it's all the same thing, but they're ruled by their, so they have the interweb, and they still can't figure it out. Think about it, guys. It would take, and I'm not, all glory to Father, and it has nothing with me to do because I love sharing the gospel, but it would take, and you wouldn't even get the gospel. You get some watered down milk, remember? A man and woman and their family, maybe 6, 7 hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours on foot to go see, maybe one time a year or twice a year to go get what Father had a connection to them. Now you have the interweb connection, wireless, Wi-Fi, or whatever other devices you have. And it would take them to almost a day to get there and to get some watered down fake Jesus nonsense from some lollipop paper pushing Christian or whatever religion that they were. And so Father can hold them accountable in that time. And now you have the worldwide net. What are you caught up in? Which hub are you on? Get out of my space, remember? Seriously, you could learn today in one day what it would take somebody in your whole lifetime that, and well, I don't know, because they didn't even work getting what we have available today. The gospel's always been there, obviously through definition, how I've taught you, if you did just a one-word study, but that's not how most people, they worked all day. Many are called, but oligarchs are chosen, brothers, sisters. I didn't do this, so I'm trying to bring to your attention that most people can't even quote one passage in scripture, but they got a playlist of about 500 or 1,000 songs they know, but they don't know one line in the text and even how to talk about it. Remember that guy who goes around, I'll give you a gift card, Cracker Barrel. Well, that wasn't very popular. Well, I guess they got their logo back, right? Or they never changed their logo. Never mind. Okay, we know what I'm talking about, right? That I'll give you $100 gift card and give you quote one line out of scripture. Thou shalt not kill. Yep, that's in the scripture. Here you go. Remember that guy? Anybody see that guy? Remember? He went around on the web using his device to film, kind of like a live streamer, huh? Get on there and tell him. Whatever. I've been streaming on this channel for years, and been 12 years on this worldwide net, have I not? America Ever After, Truth Bible Television, Predestined4light. So I got a lot of 2 years on this, and not for me. I'll go to Shiloh to speak up, to give me a voice. So it doesn't fall on. He chooses, remember, like somebody said in here earlier, thank you, I think with Nathan, that it falls on deaf ears. Or they're blind as a bat, remember? Well, no, bat use sonar radar, but they're blinded by the light. Just blind. The scales will be lifted. That's the word apocalypse. Pastor Apocalypse, Pastor Revelation. I didn't ask for that name. I didn't ask to be called pastor. Didn't ask to be called a dog when I was growing up. Father creates all things. He pushes the man's hand, woman's hand to write, create, whatever. It's just what it is. Many are called. His disciples to be those that love the gospel and follow in his commandments. 2 John 6, that love him. The Agape. I've told you in here, it is not me. I'm not doing this. I don't have the strength to do this. I have to. It would be wrong not to, especially on a day like today, come in and talk about what we're, Saturnalia and all that, even though I'm down and feel horrible and trying to push myself back and drink better and ate some eggs. And so, agape love is 2 John 6. It defines it, is to walk and follow, and he commands us in Luke and Matthew to bear and to take up as he was staked, right, or nailed to that yoke. That's what he was nailed to. He didn't carry a cross, and they raised him onto a tree, nailed him and cleated and nailed one foot over the other and stretched him. It was a stretcher machine. The Romans were masters at torture. It tortures me in my ears, even to abyss knowledge to know what they did this Hamashiach. They couldn't have hung him from a cross. Remember, even the Roman sword pierced where his body that he didn't. Anyways, go read the book of Acts, okay? Today, just a tree worship, right? They hung him from a tree, brothers and sisters. It was a torture machine. That's why he fulfilled the last fulfillment of prophecy when he said the unblemished sacrificial lamb. And when they would stretch you back, if that, they leave you there hanging there, you couldn't hang a Roman citizen, anyways, that's this thing, Christ's Mass, the whole thing. That's why it's just so hard for me to partake in any of this. And I don't care what they did to me. I'm not going to stand to this perverted corporation. You know that. I don't want to go off on that right now. I've already left enough YouTube evidence. I don't need to make my situation harder than it is right now. I mean, Father does that for me. I just make plans and he wrecks them. I don't make plans. I just prepare, remember. I learned my mistakes. But no, I prepare for both. Just like, you're not going to go to jail, Pastor. They threw Christ in jail. They threw him in there because, remember, they hung him on a tree because he stood up to perverted law, church, and religion. You've turned my fathers into taxes. And then people are like, they started a revolutionary war. And I'm not calling for a revolution over 2% to tea in the harbor. Now you got a gross, state, a federal, a gross, a net. It makes me sick. You take this tax money out and you drive in your gas tax car, which taxed on the car, and you use your cell phone tax, and you put your trash in the trash tax, and it whatever. What a whoop generation, bunch of jackboot thug lickers. Absolutely love to be master. Who's your master? Here's my license. You guys, I seen a guy like, they called you a sovereign. He said, no, we ain't taking it, and just went at him. Just, right to travel. We don't need to go there. Right to travel. So if you go by that system, and that's why these people, it's like it is. The only thing it takes for evil to flourish is for good men to stand around and do nothing. And under this covenant, man and woman, Jew and Gentile, all flesh. So I don't want to hear it, No, there's no 2020. There's no 2025. God is a title who commanded the light. Well, he's the separator of the light. Day and night, dark and light, shine out of darkness. He created this light from the dark. And you're a little watered down. It's not the word light. It's the word horizo. He didn't say light. The morning, in the morning, because you have a wake and you wake up because somebody died, right? You're already ruled by your tongue. He said, I'm the horizo. See the separation? I am the dark, the night. I am the dark and light. Father, the Ram, I'm the creator. I create darkness. It's the word predestination. You might want to read the book of Romans. Go back and read Paul's writings. Thessalonians, Corinthians, Colossians. Man, you're watered down. There, amen, ra. No, amen. I don't know why I say amen. And it's not 2025. And Christ was never written in the text. Knowledge is the word bis. No knowledge is the word hell. Jesus is Satan, the sun god, birthed on December 25th. Wow. Where do you get your knowledge from there? What is your name, man? Olivia. So you're watered down Christian, aren't you? Thanks for coming in. Do you celebrate celebration? Remember, they'd hang you from a tree? Well, they had the rituals of the Romans. They were masters. Remember, Peter asked to be hung upside down. That's your peace sign. And John was crucified on an X. So they love to crucify a man on a tree and hang him. They'd stake him, right? Nail him to a stock like they know you, the U.S. stock market exchange. You little corporate slave. You're ruled by your dialect. Not being nice anymore. So, done this day, December 25th, 2025. What is done this day? Done this day, December 25th, 2025. It's not 2025 and it's not December. God's not in the sky. Decami, December's the 10th month, not 12th month. Where are you talking about? You're an idiot. Please go away. I don't think you've ever heard or seen what's been talked about in here. You sound like a paper Christian. That'll water down milk I was talking about. Remember that pastor giving that, whatever he said, calling a man teacher, pastor, deacon, calling a man father. Remember he said that, calling a man teacher. That is the word prophet. False prophet's a scorpizzo. Careful. I'm a scorpizzo. Birth. I do little dates with you, a little roll around in the back and forth in time. Don't celebrate birth. Hope you're using this time well, because you can go out and tell everybody right now, hey, you don't even need the internet to figure this out. You got to be like, what are you, some idiot? Shut up, you're insulting me. It's not 2025. Move on. And you're not going to divide. Hey, look, the tongue is what divides us, right? Like a split tongue, like a serpent. A snake. Get out of here, little rattle. Baby, was that a diamondback or a rattlesnake, huh? A snake, like snakes up a pole. They'll be fooled by sorcery. Pharmakia, if you have your lexicon. Study the lexicon or leave. If you don't study the lexicon, you got to go. Get out of here. I'm not playing nice anymore. No, we're never playing nice, but I'm done being nice. So nice means to be stupid. Stupid you not to use your time wisely. So the word of God, therefore, Lord, rebuke there. There's no such thing as Lord. Lord is never ever written in the text one single time. Lord does not exist. That's the word master. You're ruled by your alien dialect there, Olivia. And Father rebukes. So, and Father is the word. Remember, he said, before Abraham was I am. So if you speak anymore, you're a Christian crap or Protestant or Presbyterian, you're probably a Catholic. You do the Masse, eat your kids. Take your kids to have bleach nuggets. Bleach kids. Chicken nuggets. Is that chicken or is that, I don't know. Never mind. Moving on. What kind of food flavored, are you a sweet and sour nugget kind of, Olivia? Just like the word of God says, many are deceived. Many are deceived. Yep, that's what it says. Many come in my Shem, in my Agape, my authority, my name, and they will be deceived. Many Christ, many in my name, not Jesus. Jesus is Satan, the sun god. You're not a servant. Lord, you don't know what that means. A servant is somebody that the word Lord is, that's already told you, it's master. You can't serve two masters and you're serving your own tongue. So you should never speak about anything in that book. You don't know anything about it. You're a paper Christian. You speak words that he said don't add a period, and you added the word Lord. That was never. I have it right here. Where's my other? I was studying that one. So, but there's you got Old and New Testament. There's no word Lord in Old or New Testament. It's a word that never exists. Christ never written in these texts. Where'd my other book over there go? Because they're in this set. I want to be 100% sure I know what I'm talking about. So you don't come in and say anything else. I want you to be quiet, Olivia, or maybe you can one word at a time. This is the Old and New Testament. This is the 66 canonized books. There were 22 taken out. We don't talk about them because that's not the gospel. There are fractions of it in these others, but there's just too much definition. He said, I am the Aletheia. That's a Greek word. Do you speak Greek? You speak American is what you speak. You speak like a pagan, and the word Lord is a pagan word. That's never written in text. That was added, and it's never in this book. The word Christ is never written in the original scriptures. Bible is a book, right? The word Bible means book, so you don't know what you're talking about. So the best thing you can do is just never talk about anything in Scripture ever again, because he said if you had a jot, that would be a period. I'll blot your name out and you go to hell. Hell's not below your feet. There's no such thing as hell below your feet. God's not in the sky and heaven's not above your head. Dead people do not go to the sky. You're going to gnash teeth. The dead will be raised from the ashes and the dust, but that's everything that ever will be. So the first people he deals with are people who start adding jots, and I'm guilty. Oh, you depart from me, you worker of iniquity. I've done it with his word. So okay, there's no such thing as God. Get this idiot Christian out of here. There's no God. It doesn't say God in here. The most God, the most high, Elyon, you don't speak anything. You're not a William to learn. I told you to be quiet, and you just keep spitting. There's no God in here. Where do you get the word God? It doesn't say God. This is a paper Christian, and I want you to moderate them, or I'll moderate them for you. I don't want you to see what this person, they just can't learn. I told you to be quiet. They can stop. A false teacher, that's the first one he deals with when he gets back, and I've been there. This is your mother. You can't be corrected. That's your mother. That is the tree of life that they were told. The knowledge, ever? Who told you were naked? You better go back and study. All this light was created from the darkness. So translation and transliteration are two different things. Don't give me your translation. I want the definition. He said, I am the Aletheia. Correct? You don't need correction. You need your mother. Your mother will correct you, wouldn't she? She said, you better get in here there. Remember? GTOIHBFIWYA. Our brains can figure it out. Some of you guys. So get in this house right now. You know what I'm saying? Your mother will correct you. That's what your mother is. That's that tree of life they were told not to eat of. So transliteration means don't add a jot, tittle, yod is letter. A jot is a period or a comma, the smallest in the punctuation in the Old Testament Hebrew. Probably don't study Hebrew, do you? He was a lion from the tribe of Judah. Remember? He spoke Hebrew, Aramaic. All right, never mind. It was all spoken into existence. Let's not get out of the league. Let's try to stay here. It's all interlinear Texas Receptus. That's where it's at. So that's why we don't study out anything else, because it was all defined. 12th century. It's going to be the closest thing you can get. I can go older, 1611, Ethiopia. It wasn't defined. Start one word at a time with your lexicon and your get your concordance. It has all the words, where they're written, just one time, so you can slow down. Like a person like me, just brings it all together, so you don't try to get too far ahead of yourself. I'm kind of mathematical too, so my brain wants to mind wander to, he said don't add, not even a period. You're going to hell. Old Testament, one sin, death, add one thought, death, one tittle, that's kind of like a comma or a period. I'll blot your name out, so don't add to my book. You're the first one I deal with when I get back. When the dead are raised at the 7th shofar, the final trump. The great and dreadful day of the Lord. That's the wedding feast of the Lambs, brothers and sisters, what I talk about constantly on this channel. So if you didn't tolerate doing an orgy of the Saturn god Kronos, where they eat kids and have sex with kids and man and beast and women, and it's sick. You don't know what you're talking about. They did this. It was outlawed in this country as a corporation. Now, not a country. It's not. It's what united my ass. Like an ass. So that's stubborn like an ass. You can't learn. You lead a horse to water. A horse, not an ass. You lead a horse to water, can't make him drink. You lead a person to knowledge. Well, no knowledge is hell, but you can't make them think, brother. See, people can't figure out in this modern day. They outlawed the orgy Christmas under the modern day word name, which was the Feast of the Saturnalia, or the Catholicism Sacrament of the Masse. Masse is eat my body, cannibalism, drink my blood, vampism, as they used to do these things and burnt the bodies of man, a single man, and called him the king of the Saturnalia. Remember, he got to eat all the finest cheeses and wines and caviar and have sex with the finest ladies and beasts that they had to offer. It was a bestiality orgy, and man on man, man on woman, man on beast, and Kronos, kids in the fire. Where do you think these EpiPen Island files come that they keep blotting or redacting and doing all this silly nonsense? They're doing the same thing, throwing it in your face. Nobody's figured that out. Father created the Epstein pen files through people to do all these evil things so that you have this to be mind wandered, sidetracked by. Remember, he blew Hubba Bubbles, probably like Barry, his buddy Barry, 44. Remember, he's on the top of the tower, www, like worldwide net. Or web, remember, 3 steel buildings with 2 airplanes, and then they made a one world erect tower, 3-in-1 building. freedom. There's no freedom in the Freedom Tower or free will. Just mocking you. Barry had a habit with this. Hey, keep your nose to yourself. These people can't keep their hand. Remember Joe, their buddy Joe? How about Billary and their whole foundation? Remember, selling pancakes in the desert out here. Whatever. Been on this channel for a long time on the tube, the hollow needle. Welcome to the two tubes, the Jew tube, the two hollow needles spitting, aren't they? Venom. Remember, those who say they're Jews, but they're not. It's spiritual, brothers and sisters. No such thing as a Jew. It's a spiritual Jew. It's a spiritual Israel, so I don't want to hear it. If you put anything physical to it, you're under that Old Testament. Enjoy your gnashing of teeth. You're not going to the new heaven and the new earth, not below your head or above your feet. Do you like that? There's no gods in the sky. 1948, huh? Sure. Whatever you say, man. It's a spiritual Israel. It's a spiritual bride. So thanks, Father, for thinning them out, bringing them back down to zero. I know there's a few of you in here at least, but it says zero. Look at this. Don't you love it? That's what it should. Welcome to a Shadow Man live stream. So, but Father doesn't want your ears in here. Don't worry about it. Probably fall on deaf ears anyways. Not 2025. God's not in the sky. You're not supposed to put light over the top of the tree. Tree is the tree god, Kronos, or Moloch. Remember, Esau killed his brother Moloch. Kronos. Eat your kids. Remember? So we know where they go. They go to war. It's not the Department of Defense. It's Department of War. Remember? Came in as a peace president. Those who say peace and safety, sudden destruction. Now he's creating all kinds of wars and all over the rock. Remember the final Trump? So, the seventh shofar. Remember Ricola? I don't know what they're chooching on or puffing on, but they're coughing like a magic dragon. No such thing as magic. No such thing as free will. That's sleight of hand. So, oh, now we're going to levitate. Oh, now, hey, oh, let's not talk about that. So, maybe, hey. There we go. The god of war. Playing Mars. What do you, Mr. Stinky Muskrat? We're going to go to Mars, Nathan. Hits a triple. Actually, I think he just knocked it out of the park first time. Didn't even have to throw 3 strikes. No. Good stuff, man. You know, they do it over and over again. The red, you know, the red star. There's no planets. Where does it say planet? The red planet. Show me the word planet ever written in the text. No, you don't be less anybody. So. No reason to be less. That's a foreign alien. Don't say the word bless. And they used to eat people when they sneeze at a demon, and a demon is the word liar. A Celtic demon is a fairy. An Arab demon is a genie. Careful what you're rubbing on here. These people are rubbing on their kids. Come on into McDonald's. Hey, we got robots now. We don't need those people anymore. They don't ask for a 401k and they don't rub their kids. All right, no. Eat your kids. I mean, bleach kids. Nuggets. Campbell's soup too, probably, huh? Maybe they're not growing them in a lab. Maybe they're just bleaching them. Masse is the eating of human flesh. Are you Christ massing today? No, one person's come in and said, Mary, Christ my ass. I mean, Christ mass. Masse is the eating of human flesh. So good for the, thank you, Father. I don't want to hear it. I was sitting there in jail for 23 days and all those pagan Satan commercials. My dad died. Christmas killed him because he had to celebrate the Saturnalia. And my dad was Satan or Krampus or Nimrod or Moloch. That's who he dressed up as. He was Big John. He was over 500 pounds when he died. So we were pagans back then. I grew up that way. But remember, he said, come out of my people. So that happened back in 1989 on 12 on your pagan calendar, 23, 1989. So just 2 days ago, I was in jail. It's a pretty hard time. Never been locked up on that day. And 36 years ago, my dad died at 37. Christmas killed my dad. I've talked to you about that. So. But that's what you get for dressing up like Santa, Dad. Like Satan. We didn't know. Whatever. We did that same thing. Whatever. I ain't going to go there. If you follow this channel, then you know that people always wonder what's wrong with me this time of year. Well, Christmas killed my dad, so I don't like Christmas. So, Dad, what's wrong with you? Nothing. Leave me alone. I don't want to celebrate this crap. Oh, don't tell your kid there's no such thing as Santa. No, Jesus is not reason for the season. Jesus is Satan, the sun god, whose birth on December 25th. Yeah, my son. You're ruining it. Shut up. Come out of my people, he said. You got to be just a wandering, spinning at 1,040 miles on a planet, one of kind of people. No such thing as planets. Get the hell out of here. Hell's not below your feet. God's not in the sky. Go. I don't want you in here. Not being nice. The word nice means to be stupid. How is Santa related to Jesus? I wish Schwapang. What the heck is that? Schwa. I don't know. I can't. My damn eyeballs are gone. So I only got like about an hour, maybe of sleep. I was sleeping on Puffy's floating clouds last night, man. I was so, because just being in my own bed and all that. So, but still just couldn't get, yeah, I don't know. Take your nonsense out of here. You make no sense like America. Quit speaking your American nonsense in here. Can't speak American. You have to speak the gospel or produce some fruit in here, or you got to go. So there we go. That's a pagan worship of tree gods and sun gods. That is the grove worship, okay? Pharaoh, that's grove worship. Well, yes, it does. In Rome, in Jeremiah 10, it does. It talks about the cutting of the tree and standing it up. You're incorrect there, Pharaoh. I'll correct you with the word. So, Jeremiah 10, put it in right now. Go screen grab it and bring it in here and show everybody that, yes, it does. It talks about worship of grove, tree worship, Moloch, throw your kids in the fire, eat your kids. Baal worship. Sun worship and tree worship. It's the alignment. It's the swastika. It's this. Apologize there. So that was me. I muted it for a minute. So I'll get up in a minute. We'll do that if we can keep a steady stream. Then we'll it'll have to be backwards. I forget that, but it's all right. You'll still be able to figure it out. It's not that hard. Nimrod. He was a mighty hunter. Remember, that's February, you ding dong. That's Valentine's Day. It's called Lupercalia. The one with the dog. Remember, like the back of that ass. You know that's the heart sign, brother, sister. What do you think that's Cupid? Remember, Nimrod's son had sex with his mom, like a rabbit, silly rabbit, tricks of her kids. I know she did tricks too, I guess. This modern, many are called, but oligos, brothers, sisters, O-L-I-G-O-S, write that down. Few. Father only loves his bride. His bride is a teeny tiny bride. Most people go to hell. Said in the book of Matthew. Get with the gospel or leave. Don't start adding your own version of some kind of Christianity or anything. And I know the regulars are here, but we don't want to hear it. Christ is a pagan term, never written in text once. On the scripture and remember, pound it out. The law on tablets, rocks. The scribes, hello. You got some foreign tongue. You're going to come in here and speak some venom. He said, don't sup with vipers. Don't cast your pearls. Let no one take your crown. So if you don't have a crown because you let somebody steal your alien, there's no such thing as alien. I'm saying alien tongue. You speak like an alien Jesus. Your Jesus is an alien from the sun. Your sky daddy Jesus. There's my two witnesses. Don't. Yep, absolutely. So, what's on your radar? Tell me something. Come on, you guys, help this out. There's so many things you guys could be typing about. What today is. This is a great day to go out and tell the whole world you're a pagan. The whole world's pagan. If you think it's 2025 Christmas, leave. It's not 2025. Masse, that's the eating human flesh. Remember, drink my body, blood, body, worship, blood, body. That's That's the Saturnalia, brothers and sisters. That's Catholicism. That's the deadly head wound that was healed in Scripture when Constantine thought he was going to lose his arse, his empire, to these Vandal tribes that worshiping Baal in the grove. The sun, the tree, the sun, the light over top of the tree, Christmas tree, the rebirth of the sun god, Kronos, Saturn, Milia. It's the same thing. Saturnalia is Catholicism. Cannibalism. Eat my body, drink my blood. He didn't mean eating flesh. He was talking about the body of Christ as a spiritual Israel, spiritual bride, spiritual Jews. There's no physical. There's no physical Israel in they're destined. If you're bound by a law, right, fate, you're not his bride. They're not. They're predestined. They're not lawless, but they're not under the law. They will stand against perverted law, and they'll suffer just like he did. And they threw him in jail and killed him. Threw him on it. They hung him from a tree. It said, curse it in the book of Acts. So if you're loved by the world, he said, remember they hated me before they hated you. If you're not hated, well, he said, if you're loved by the world, then you'll be hated by my Father. So love is the word agape. You might want to go back with your foreign dialectist tongue. There's no such thing as speaking in tongue, and like a foreign alien means foreign. It doesn't mean they're from the sky. It's actually just a word. There's no existence as a physical, but you turn a word into a physical, or maybe they're just fake robots they'll drop on top of us and tell us they're aliens. Mr. Stinky Muskrat taking all those rockets up there, getting ready for their Project Blue Book. Hey, don't be deceived by Operation Blue Beam in the 90s. Go back further. Go back in time. I know my studies, so I'm eternal. Remember, I'm not 50-some years old. I'm eternal. Don't play numbers with me. I told you I'm older than all 10 of you here in this room. If that's truly how many are here. Well, plus the CIA, the FBI, the NSA. Well, they're watching. They're always watching. Remember Bob said? B.O.B. So, in this eternal avatar reality training habitat. Right? Avatar. Somebody's turning blue. Quit holding your breath. Say it. Speak it. I keep getting invited to Exynos Holidays. Say that you are dead. I know. Say this. Yep, good stuff. Good for you, though, Sabrina. I mean, it's not hard. You could go there and you could teach. I mean, but they're probably going to hate you and throw you out, like every church in this world. House made by hands, rock. They throw me out in a country minute. Well, second, probably. Just a second. You got to get out of here. What do you mean? There's no such thing as Jesus. There's no gods and angels with wings in the sky. Fallen doesn't mean from the sky, you idiots. A fallen angel is not. Angel is the word angelos, which is the word messenger. Revelation 9:11 says they have a king over them. That messenger of the abyss, Apollyon, the one that Trump has his house decorated with, the final Trump. He has a Nimrod tower that's 58 stories tall, long, just like long or wide. No, tall, 58 stories tall tower. Boy, did you figure that? I went out there, Nimrod. Hey, dropped 3 steel buildings with 2 airplanes and then created a one world freedom tower. 3-in-1 tower. I get it. Like they're a beast, Baphomet, Baal, tree worship, Moloch, eat your kids, 3 kids in the fire, Krampus, Kronos. Here we go again. Here we go round in circles. So, all right, let's get up. We'll get up for a little bit. I can't do this too long, probably standing up. I'm freaking wiped out, guys. So I just kind of came in and sat down. But I should for the day. Oh, well, not only that, right? But just start lying to him about some pagan sun god, telling them that he's squeezing through the keyhole or under the door because you don't have a chimney, right? Oh, dude, we don't have a chimney. He came through the chimney. Where's he? He goes through the keyhole, son. Oh my gosh. They did it, brothers and sisters. On TV, I saw that. Anybody have the television? I threw my TV away in the 90s, so my TV's been gone since early 90s. I'm not microwave, none of that. Throw all that away. I hate tech. I live off the grid, so yeah. And Grinch, that's pretty funny because that's a whole nother story by itself. You know what I'm saying? Come down. So this whole creation of the beginning that, we're telling our children this double demon, remember you double down. You're like, because just hold on. Anybody have TV? I keep track of my thoughts here. There you go. And then Ryan did it too. And you doubled down like a deck of cards, blackjack. Ryan got it. You know where I was going. You double demon. You knew you ate the cookies and you gave him the gifts. So did you see the commercial? Father, thank you for bringing it all together with a kid where the mom and dad are sneaking into the back of the truck and then he's out there driving. Santa's better at, I can't remember. You guys watch it. He's driving a little Chevy or something. They've got it in the back of the truck. Good for you. I didn't want to, but being locked up for, 23 days, I had to watch that crap That too. Cookies and milk, the land of milk and honey, and these people are lost in space farce. Warp speed, remember? Come on in and get the jab. Government loves you. We'll take care of you. Now they're selling it like Paxil or something. I don't know what they call it. Sky Rizzy. Oh my gosh, guys. Every 5th commercial is a drug commercial too on TV. I'm serious. And the side effects, oh man, I go in out and got some poison ivy or, I got a skin rash, go see the dermatologist. No, hey, take this pill and the side effects are heart murmurs, swelling between the anus and genitals and death. What the hell? Yeah, some Sky Rizzy. How could people watch that stuff, guys? It is every 5th commercial, or now because it's Christmas. Like, what are they? The dudes with the little gray or burgundy hats, the Shriners. Your gift will be, Yeah. Do you guys, anybody have TV? Put TV in the chat, or if you've seen the commercial that I'm talking about. I think I think it was a commercial for, like, I don't know what the commercial was for. I just couldn't get it because I just was over. Maybe it was about the pickup truck, the Ford. I think it was a little kid. The parents are sneaking something in the garage and it's covered up and they lie to him. And then he gets and he's driving the next day and said, Santa's better about hiding or something. You guys see that commercial? Oh, it's my puppy boy with the dad are getting all warm. I just love this boy. With the dad, I miss my puppy so much. Thinking my kitties run off because the other cat ran him out of here. He sucks. He's been here for years. He's my cat, but hopefully he'll show back up. You know what I'm saying? I think he has a thing for Juniper, and he ran the other cat off while I was gone. So, because Kevin didn't come over here regularly and feed him, so Yasher had to kind of go into hunting mode, and so I haven't seen Yasher since I've been back. And it is what it is. I can't. It's a cat thing. They do it either way. So maybe Yasher should have been nicer to him in the beginning. I don't know. Maybe he's not gone too far, and maybe he's on the back of the property or something. So I'm hoping so. Sabrina even saying that. So, and I feel like that's what it is. I'm not. I'm not mad at Nugget. Nugget eats all the food, and that's okay. Kevin's been, he's kind of a food hog. He wants to guard that, and so, but it is. This is me. This is Kevin and I's community. So the 40 acres. If the cat wants to come over here and do that, that's fine. They'll figure it out. So maybe he'll show back up. I miss him a lot though, because I thought about him a lot. I talked to him, and then I had kitties and pupping that I missed at home, and so now I get to be with the best boy that I ever did have, the best guy I ever did have. He's such a good boy. He's just hanging out with his dad. Hanging out with the dad. You want to say hi, Mr. Bone? I'll say hi. Tell everybody say hi. Say I was good for Kevin. Kevin took good care of me and took good care of me. I got to hang out with Marcy and Choo Choo. Huh. Where are they? Where's Marcy and Choo Choo? So we're very happy. Puppins look like he's been fed more than I feed him. He look a little chunky. He looks a little bit chunky. That's all right. He went out and hung out. He went to town, and he went with me today and got out. We went and go into town, and we're getting out and being good. We went out and gave him firewood, and so he went and did stuff with Kevin. So he just ate them. Kevin just gave him all that sit down that didn't never eat in the bowl. I don't do that. I only feed my animals twice a day. I'm a farmer, so they get fed first part of the day, and they need the food at the end of the night for most of them to make through the cold. So there's just a certain way to feed animals, and everybody does it different, but I only do it the way a farmer does it anyway. So at least twice a day. I mean, you can more than that, but that once a day is not, whatever they want. He's out hunting. He's hunting the back part of the property or something back there and staying, and there's so many buildings in the back he can be at, you know, in the back. But I've been screaming and yelling for him every time, hoping he'll come back. But if he got into it with Nugget, or maybe he just didn't want to get into it with him and said, I'm out of here, you know. But there's not very many houses around, so he can't be too far, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, he needs cover, but there's plenty of places in the back for him to get cover. So maybe he just went back there. I should go back and walk back there and take a look for him. But I think he'll come back when he's ready, almost like Sabrina said, hopefully when he knows I'm back here and knows I'm here regularly. I've been yelling for him. He knows that he won't get dominated or something like that, or maybe I said maybe he just didn't want to deal with it. So he's not a small cat. They're both pretty good cats, but I don't know. That's the only thing I can think. Kevin said he saw him a few days ago, but they didn't come do the regular feeding with them, and they do get fed regularly no matter what. They hunt and still eat just as much food as I give them, and I actually give them a little bit more in the winter because, you know, there's less things to eat, you know, out there, but they still, like now, there's still so much. We haven't gotten it cold enough, I think, to take those things and put them into, you know, hibernation type of, you know, they're still out running around out here. So I think he's probably out there and had to hunt on his own and went back to his instincts and probably forgot about this for a little while. And cats do have a tendency to be able to go back unfathomable distances to go back home to where their home is at. So some cats have like 3 houses, and if you have one of those outside cats that comes and goes, he probably lives at a couple other people's houses. You don't even realize that, you know. Cats rule. So I miss my kitty, and hopefully he'll come back. Yeah, sure's my awesome boy, and he's been through a lot since Tango. You know, remember he got have to deal with the animals that, you know, he's a good boy. I love my Yasher kitty. Yeah, Kevin said he saw him a few days ago. So if that's, I asked him when the last time he saw him, and he said he saw him a few days ago. So, like I said, maybe he's just out doing his rounds, like I said, because he is an outside cat, but he stays here. He doesn't really go anywhere, but he hasn't had to compete for this. You know, it's because I need to make sure Nugget's fixed. Oh no, because I think about that Juniper's not. So I don't want any kitties right now, especially in the winter. I had to, you know, I don't want to. I actually don't want her to have any more kitties. So she's done one batch, and that's good enough. I never really want her to have those, but that's all right. And have to worry about it because Yasher's fixed, and I got what was the other black Russian that I had? Darn it, he was right there on the tip of my tongue. But either way, though, the only cat here was Yasher, and he was fixed, so I didn't have to worry about having her at this point fixed. So I need to ask Kevin if Nugget's fixed, because I think that's why he's trying to dominate over here, because he has a thing for Juniper. So she's a pretty kitty. She's one of them chimera kitties. I'd have a thing for her too if I was a kitty. No, she's a good girl. So, I have to tell you that though too, because I didn't get to tell you that last night. And actually, I think I'm going to take a break for a little bit. I'm getting a little overwhelmed. I'll come in before the end of the day because I think it's still somewhat early, and we'll try to do another live stream. But as I wasn't getting any sleep last night, and I really think I'm suffering from some PTSD from this. You know, I mean, I'm seriously having, I was floating on the clouds last night, as comfortable as I've ever been, I swear, in my life. And just like in jail, I'm just not sleeping. My body is not turning into, even after 8, but had to go a 9th day without sleeping, asked for melatonin because don't want to go that, and again on this channel, but you know, I actually realize I don't, you know, I'm okay with not sleeping that much because I really don't like dreaming, and actually because I get an hour's sleep, but that melatonin had a little bit, it didn't work until about 3 o'clock in the morning. They wouldn't give us until 10, you know, which is pretty late because you have to be up by 6. And that's not an issue to me, but I'm already wore out from not sleeping for, 8 days. And I asked for it, didn't get it on the 9th day. So I actually didn't sleep and only slept like an hour that first night, even after I took that melatonin. Didn't get to bed until at least 3 and woke back up. And then just, my body would not, I'm not in there thinking anything like, oh my God, where am I at? This sucks. I hope my animals are okay. Kevin's got them. Father doesn't make mistakes. This isn't by chance. I'm not going to let them, whatever, put me in a position. I'm just going to do what Father has me exactly where he wants me. And, but just couldn't, the body doesn't, because I don't get into that and feel comfortable and get all, la la. No, I'm either awake or I pass out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I don't do that. Just, no, I'm saying, Sabrina, I wasn't doing that. I'm not in jail thinking I'm in the wrong. It hurts. My back is killing me. I'm really tired. But the bed was, I didn't get that pressure like I did last time. When I was there, the time before that, this whole after the SWAT raid and laying there out with a concussion for, So, but anyways, I just couldn't turn it off. And then when I came home, I was like, dude, it's going to be so nice to sleep in my bed and actually maybe sleep 2 hours in a row, 3 hours, and get, somewhat I have more 2 or 3 hours I sleep, or maybe 4, and I get up and stay up for a little bit and then go to bed back for an hour, and then I'm up for the day. I don't normally sleep more than 4 or 5 hours a day, 6 max. And I start feeling a little, I could do that, but I just get out of bed. I don't, and I kind of have a thing about 3 o'clock. And so, even after the SWAT raid, I realize now too, that I have this PTSD is not going to go away. And I think that's what it was last night, because my brain was thinking, but I wasn't wanting to even have any of that thought in my head. And I wasn't even thinking about anything that was like, oh my God, I'm thinking that this is going to have any kind of, like negative effect or positive effect. But there was just that, like you said, that mind monitor, what you called that again. But I laid there in pillows, on the best. I think I was the most comfortable I've ever been in my entire life last night, even though, I laid flat, which strains my spine and just causes an instant, I need to lay on my side and then I might be able, but I don't sleep on my back. I just don't sleep on my back or my belly when I was young, but I can't do that. I have to flip over on my side. So when I was in jail, flipping over on a little puny mattress, and they will give me an extra pillow because another cover. That stuff anywhere I lay, especially on my hips, shoulder, my hip, it's like just, I'm glad I'm not in El Salvador where they just put you on a piece of plank. I'll just sit up. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be lay down very long. So, but that was a little better this time because I really wasn't getting that pressure point. It was there, but I wasn't thinking about it. And so I was extremely uncomfortable. I told you it's my kryptonite, but like in there, I just couldn't sleep. And that is what it is. It is what it is. But I felt like when I came home, I was going to sleep, and I just didn't get the rest, and I even tried to wear myself out. I stayed in for like 3 hours last night where I was going to go to bed and check with you guys today. And I went and saw the comment section, and, like I said, it brought me to tears and just really moving, and a lot of support that the ministry still pushed through those days in just a few weeks. It wasn't like it was the end of the world or anything, but I already did time, and I got credit for that. And it had to be the number that Father wanted it to be. So I wasn't laying there thinking that, I was not where Father wanted me to be. I just didn't. I just had to push through it. It was the nights, which were longer, 3 times as long as the day, and that's only pretty much from about 11 is when the TVs go off, and then they're 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 6 hours. I might get an hour, between those of that, and it was so hard that I didn't get any of that for at least 8, 9 days. Didn't sleep. I got the melatonin the next day, and then I only got about an hour of sleep. So that's what I've been running on since then, and so it's just wearing on me. And so I'll probably get off here right now and try to come back a little later, and because I am pretty wore out. But maybe I'll come back and I'll stand up and we'll do the board, later on. And, do a little more understanding of why, when we visual is a great way to teach. Why do you think I get tattoos, So, no, I can't do that. So I can't, on film. I think I'm at risk you already know. I mean, I can call my son and daughter right now, but after almost 2 years right now, 19, almost 20 months almost, and I think calling them can jeopardize their safety or their bodily harm. I'm not saying safety. You know how much I don't like that word, is that, don't like that those who say peace, safety, some destruction, it's coming out peacefully, care of it when I can. So I just went, 23 days not having it. So that's why I like using it, because I'm not addicted. It's not an addiction thing. So, I'll be smoking again because it does help for my sciatica, and it does help with 100%. I'm glad you brought that up, that I hate dreaming. I don't have very many dreams in there, but I have more dreams than I ever had dreams a long time. When you have 30-second dreams and stuff like that, and that's too because sciatica, and I don't want to dream. And so they say that if you use cannabis, you don't dream. So I can't wait, so I don't want to dream once I fall asleep. That's my time to be not having that type of, it's just horrible. I don't like dreaming. I hate dreaming. Some people love it. Like, oh, I just had a dream of my girlfriend. He was missing her. That's just trying to go back to that dream about her sleeping all day. You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, Nathan? I just don't reach that. So maybe, I don't know if you use cannabis, but I'm telling you, they say that. I mean, it works for me. I'm telling you that. So if I had to say why I prefer to use that as, not like a sleep aid or anything, because it stops me from dreaming. I guess it works. See? So as I'm saying, so I know now I need to try to hopefully get some kind of medical, and there's ways, hopefully that I can, like I said, some counties, they don't care, but I'm not giving them a reason. I've already filed an appeal, and when I'm done with this, there won't be no probation at all. There will be none of this. I know if you are witness to what just happened to me, I'm gonna go file a lawsuit. I'm gonna start there. I'm starting with a lawsuit, and okay, so if that makes sense to you, and I'm not like that guy. I'm just trying to, like, you do you. I'm not trying to tell you like, hey, do what I'm doing, but I'm not trying to push this on you. But I didn't realize that, and I should have known more because I do. But years ago, I discovered that, like, generally people who use cannabis on a more regular basis, and I'm not hiding that before because I don't do drugs. Remember, drugs kill people. Caffeine can kill you. Nicotine can kill you. Anyways, let's not go there. I realize how much I will, if, when, and can use it for that period and not feel, because I don't want to have a conscious thought when I am laying down. I want to be down, not up. I'm not so addicted to this, like, oh, I got to be awake because I love this, and I'm not going to go to sleep, and sleep my life away. Actually sleep way less than most people. But when I'm down, I don't want a conscious thought in my head, if that makes sense. It's my time away from the world. Seriously, it's like a timeout. I don't want to dream and then come out of timeout and it's so real that you feel so real. And I don't like that. Let me just damn sleep for a little while. I don't get sleepy or tired. I pass out and I wake up. Anybody sleep like that? If you probably use, I'm not telling you what, probably use cannabis on a regular basis. You probably have that same way. I pass out. I don't get there tired, and I pass out and then I wake up, period. There's no, kind of even remember that I had sleep, but I know that I had enough sleep because it's more was about laying down when I couldn't sleep at all. And I had that, what I'm saying? Kind of not insomnia, and because I didn't want to lay down because it hurt my back, too. And, so I avoided laying down for years and fell asleep sitting up because I didn't want to lay down. And I can get tired that way, head bobs, but as soon as I lay down, I don't get head bob sleepy. Isn't that weird? Anybody like that too? Get head bob sleepy sitting up, the old sleep monsters on your back. As soon as I lay in that bed, I'm there. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm not praying to Father. I'm not worried about anything. Everything that I can do, nothing happens overnight. I'm just laying and I'm out. And then I'm up. Like a light switch, and I don't need to wake up and I gotta get waked up. I'm up. Let's go. that are boots. So I thank Father for creating cannabis. So I'll have to be careful, like I said. And actually, how I was going to try to do it was go tomorrow, guys, and see if I can get that. But I think it's more important to file the lawsuit right now. You know what I'm saying? And get that started so that I can get a hold of the head of probation. I need to figure that out. I don't want to do it over the phone with people. I need to talk to somebody in person. So I'm going to try to find at the state level, and the capital is Salem. So I need to start there, and I don't want to be on probation in this county. They're throwing me right back into the same people who, they said Elijah didn't do his probation. And, I explained that to the head of probation that, you're responsible for my son's murder. If you didn't listen, you didn't do any of this, you could have. The calls were called from all over the world to your office. I have discovery on that. So I need this case looked at. And that's why I filed the pellet case. I want to be careful about what I say, because I don't want to compromise this. I don't want to give these people reason to ever throw me back in. I can't do no more jail time. I really can't. And if I did, I just have to do whatever. But I hope, Father, there's no more jail time in store for me. I don't want to go back to jail ever again. So I could do it. I just don't want to. And life ain't Burger King. Can't always have it your way. I've told that to a lot of people in there. Told it to the guards, So I didn't mistreat anybody. I just wrote out my time, and, so yeah, I'm on paper. Somebody said that the other day. Oh, well, you're not on paper. What do you mean? I got felony probation supervised paper for 3 years. So because my son didn't do his probation, which I know he did twice. I mean, it is insane what Father has just done to me. I told you could write a movie about it, and people would never believe it was true. You could write a movie. I'm doing a movie. I'm done. I'm going to get this done and put into a format not to be released to the main lamestream, but alternative media. I'm going to have this, if I can. I'm going to try to make that prepared to do that, and I'm not going to make plans. If I can, I will. You know what I'm saying? No, that I don't have, drug charges or stuff, but so that I can't do color code. That's called color coding, people. And but I don't want to give them a reason. So all I'd have to do is, in my sense, is, move out of this county and nobody care. But they're going to put me under their microscope. Any way they can throw me in jail, they will. They do that to people in this county, and it's ridiculous. Some people can never get off probation out here, and are on probation for like Elijah. He was on probation for 42, and then at month 45, and he still had 3 months where he could have completed it. Instead, they SWAT warranted the house. They did not care. That's going to come out. It's going to come out. He still had 3 months left. He had 3 months left to complete extra hours that he had done 100 plus 30 plus 3 more than the 180 he already did. Elijah should be very wealthy right now, and so should Adriana. And they're just out there where? Remember, I waited all this time to get to talk to him till the no contact orders were dropped. They wouldn't go to where they were both alive at one point in time, and I found Adriana's car, and that 40 pounds of silver was there. And now I need to call them, but really? Really? Then, remember they threatened to throw me in jail? Oh, you have a no contact order. We made contact with a welfare check. You've just violated your no contact. We're going to throw you in jail. Father is so cruel and just menaces me, man. Father is just whatever. I'm menacing the police charges. So, because look at what they did to my son. Grenade my son and daughter in their sleep, and then grenade me. Father's not very, Father's very cruel to me. I'm not going to lie. I have a relationship with him. I tell him all the time, stop, I won't give any more than I can handle. But dude, after all this, I did all this so I can ride out the storm, so I can one day now talk to them and find out what I can't. I think it would jeopardize their well-being right now. Because supposedly I'm not hiding anything. Josephine County knew where he was at, and I just spoke with the head of probation, and he said that Elijah was seen in the county of his home of record. In Lane County. Why have they not gone and picked him up? I just don't believe it. I think it's a bunch of bullshit, and I think they're lying to me. And I know when people are lying to me. Why wouldn't they go get him that day? That's a 5-year downward departure. I mean, he serves all 5 years, not a day less. And you tell this company, this county doesn't need the money. That's why they extort people like that. Make them do their probation without keeping, a digital record in this modern day age. It's analog and Neanderthal probation. Look I did videos of it for hundreds of hours before they came and SWAT raided the house. So I can call Elijah right now. I could say, Elijah, I love you right now on this live stream. Remember, I couldn't have, and not, what I'm saying? He could call me right now, but he's probably so scared he's going to get shot to death. Remember, I said, please do not shoot my son, but my daughter's there and I think she's being raped. Something's not happening. I don't trust this guy at all. She's being held there against her. She has to be. Why is her car there? I reported it. Remember, we're going to throw you in jail. You have a no contact order. I didn't have a no contact order with her brothers and sisters. Josephine County is in some serious trouble. Yeah, they are. That's a separate lawsuit against that county. And that officer who took that phone call. And that attorney, Paul Palmer, who never got the call and said, followed up. And so, well, my client's passport's there and his daughter and son are there and they need to be brought to trial. At his trial, that he didn't show up for his trial, and that's a federal offense. You can't keep passport, or that I'm taking this. You have to. They wouldn't give him the call, so he's going to find himself in losing his bar as well too. I'm not hiding it, I'm not making threats. It's already told you the evidence speaks for itself in this case. So I told him don't take me to trial without my son or daughter there. That's a violation and a mistrial, but they don't want to listen to me. And they just did it, brothers and sisters. So I don't have anything to hide. I mean, you can't change. They just did it to me. My rights were violated again. I don't care what the verdict was of the jury. They weren't seeing all the evidence. A key witness in the case was missing. Reported dead by me, murdered over and over again. The judge has to look up what is manifest necessity. I did videos on it. Lives, go back in the live stream, look through the playlist. Not playlist, look through there, you'll see I did that before they ever put me in jail. Explain, you can't take me to trial without having my son or daughter there. They were in the vehicle. You have to call them. I don't care if I broke the law by not telling, I didn't physically. You still need to have them so you can cross-examine and talk about, hey, why did your dad tell you? There was nothing discussed at all. I'm just going to leave it at that. So I cannot believe what Father just did. It took a while to get here, but it is what it is. So I'll figure it out. I already filed through my last attorney there a appeal. It was filed on December 5th. So if this county screws around too, they're going to find that that's going to come out too in that suit. So I can't get charges or I lose my right of appeal. So I need to make sure I do this right, and Father will do it, not me. So Father will make me do what I need to do. So that's why I am where I am, because it's Christ-like to stand up to perverted law. The Hebrew word is froward. So it means to twist, add, change, or warp, or pervert. And they've perverted. What they've done to my son is disgusting. And my daughter. I cannot believe that I can't even talk to my daughter right now because of their safety, and mind and body could be compromised. So yeah, I did a stream yesterday, and I was going to end here because I'm getting a little wore out. Feel worse than I've ever felt in my entire life. I said I never want to feel like that again when they make me take Oxycontin, and all I took was melatonin in there. So I don't know what they gave me. Maybe they gave me something else. I still didn't sleep. It didn't seem to change. I don't feel like I had any behavioral changes. So other than I do believe now that I have some pretty bad case of PTSD. I mean, I'm a veteran and I know people are like, dude, there's no way you don't have PTSD. Look at what they've done to you. And, look, even the SWAT raid, and yeah, the SWAT raid gave me PTSD. So I need to get to some counseling. I can't sit there and dump and unload on you. I need some anonymity and I need to get it out. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody to help me too, in this case. And I'm not going to be nice anymore. That means to be stupid. So I need somebody that's going to help me put this together into a format, into some kind of movie that will be put onto alternative, media, so that they can see that this happens to just, people like the Treasument calculator, Tampa Bay, 1983. That man started his whole tirade with the course because he was going through a divorce with his wife. He ends up in jail for 60 days. wrongfully, so there's lots of things from past history that I've quoted case and just amendments, first, second, fourth, fifth, sixth, eighth, 12th, how many violations have they made of my rights? So I have rights. All I've done is asserted my rights. I have not broken the law. Tell me where I've broken the law. You know what I'm saying? They're not putting me on any medication. I don't use medication. I've used cannabis in the past. That works for me. And we just had a discussion on why I use it. So I have sciatica. It's a nerve damage, nerve pain. It's all documented in my records. I ain't right now. I don't do that no more. Anyways, moving on. That's what I'm saying. I ain't going to get meds. I don't want most people to do that to go get. I just need to have an avenue to vent. I just don't have anybody, and I'm going to load on anybody right now because I'm not going to be nice anymore. And, I postponed because of it's not pride. I just didn't think it's right to the county taxpayer to pay for the criminal behavior of their public and community servants who are committing criminal acts in their county. But this county is complacent to their behavior. So whatever, man, I got to get over it. Should have filed it a long time ago. Then when I have the money, I'm hiring a team of investigators to find where out my son is so they can get him out of there without being shot again. So, and my daughter grenaded in her sleep again, or assaulted again. I don't know, where they are, and I don't even have a clue where to look from because the only place where I knew they're gone now. And I did my own investigation and found them, the police confirmed they were there. So remember, I was right. I saw he was seen on camera in this county 2 times, and they didn't go pick him up with a 5-year warrant for his arrest on a downward departure. And then he committed another act by dad telling him not to stop the car. They dropped Adrian's charges for the same thing that I just now was convicted of him now on felony probation. Same charges. Remember, I could have got a misdemeanor and no felony probation and told all this to go away. And nope. Then I can't have the right of appeal. That would have just benefited me. This ain't about me. It's about standing up to perverted. What they've done to my son is an indentured servant to probation. Like I told, they do it to people out here. Now they've thrown me right back in that den of lions that was, wolves in this case, that did what they did to Elijah. They're savages. They're absolute savages. Like that nurse who wouldn't give me a blanket because I didn't take her Tylenol 3 or whatever pain meds else she's trying to give me. So she was the blanket Nazi, like on Seinfeld, the super Nazi. No blanket for you. So, oh well, put a little humor in it if we could. So, if anybody off to where he's at, he's either dead or in a place where nobody's getting to him. Supposedly that the probation officer again told me he was seen in Lane County, and that's where his mom and my mom and his brother, and I don't think he's in that county. If he's not one to be found, he's not going to go to a county where there's a bunch of people who know where he's at. His phone's been off for a long time, many months. Hasn't been no action on Facebook. Neither of them, my son or daughter. Why does nobody care about that? So I have to push on, man. Yeah, I bet you'd say lick my boots. That's a good answer. A survey says, ding, I had to watch that too. Number 1 answer on the board. Thank you, Marissa. Steve, whatever his name is. I don't know. I can't right now. Harvey. Like Lee Harvey Oswald or something. I don't know. So, father's brutal. He beat me up again, and I feel like I really got changed in there, guys. It messed me up. I feel so horrible right now. I got a hamburger, but that's not bringing me back. And I never wanted to feel like that. I've talked about it on this channel about refusing their meds and then having to take them. I couldn't take them when I was a single dad, driving my son to school, nearly 80 miles there and 80 miles back, and then still working all day and can't be all medicated out working and people's with equipment, medicated. So I can't take, and they forced me to take it. I had to move back to my mom's house, and, I was that bad physically too, that I really just could not get my body up and down and was dragging myself because the sciatica I have anyone a question, I'm sure HIPAA, I don't know, whatever, you probably go find, stuff online about my, you know, refusal to have surgery and all this. It's not good. But anyways, you know, I don't know what they were giving me. They could have given me something else. I don't know. Any one of those tablets that I was taking for melatonin could have been something else. They've been doing something to me the whole time, and me, and you know, and I've been just out of it because I haven't been sleeping, haven't been eating anything but, you know, basically the bread and some of the vegetables. I'm telling you, I don't want the food in there was absolutely atrocious. You know, it's just I've had jail food before, and you know, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And my trays were very different. I'm not going to tell you whatever's what it is. I mean, I was no pork, so you know. Oh, everybody's eating, you know, turkey biscuits and gravy because I'm the only one that doesn't want pork. Yeah, right. You know, some of the shit they try to pull. Like, oh, starch. They train you guys to say whatever, huh? You know, those are turkey. You know, that's not turkey. It's pink. What the hell are you talking about? You know, I've been a 5-star chef, managed a 5-star restaurant. You're gonna pull this on me? I sold meat for 10 years of my life. See what I'm saying? But it's where Father wanted me, so he made them do whatever they did or not or whatever happened. But that time in my life, because of taking what was Oxycontin, I only took them for a few months, and I quit taking them because I said I'd rather just suffer through the pain and pull myself around. I felt just absolutely like I feel right now, which I didn't realize until I almost got home. I mean, we were pulling it right off the back of here in Silver Lake, where you come over, and that was all in the 80s, a lake. You come down that little short pass there. It is what it, you know, and I figured out what I was feeling. I'm like, dude, I felt like when I was taking that, which is time-release morphine, which is heroin, for 3 months, and then came off that and said, I don't want none of this in my body. And I tasted it for 6 months. I took it for 3 months and tasted it for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So I know that because I still taste it, and I still have that toxic feeling like I'm just radiating this. I don't know what it is other than that feeling from that I've had in past, and said I never want to feel like that ever again. I never want to feel like that ever again. So actually I learned something. I hope I never go to jail again. Never go to jail again. I hope Father never puts me in jail again, you know, for my actions. Okay. So but there was one guy in there, guys, who didn't eat meat at all. And that was how you do it. And they can still isolate your tray. And I was taking the melatonin, you know what I'm saying? So that could have been done through the food. I did drink that water for a little while because there was no, and I was drinking. And remember, I didn't get commissary for 14 days. It took me 2 weeks to get commissary in there. You know, so how does that work for somebody's there for like 7? You know, if you're actually there right on the right time, it takes 8 to 9 days to get your commissary. Anyway, so anybody there is a week is not getting anything. No reading glasses, no pit stick, no, you know, whatever, no cream, you'll get nothing. You gotta suck it up and drive on. So what a horrible system, you know, that they put into that. Although they offer, Elijah was there, they didn't even have top ramen. Now they have it all almost like a prison. I'm serious. It's set up with the same thing, but it all comes from Texas. So imagine how slow it was because of the holidays. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, oh yeah, it's like $1 for a pack of ramen or whatever. Let's do that. Let's just show you. If you tell me you've ever seen this anywhere else, because I haven't. Regular ramen. Now I got this in jail, right? And whatever, but regular ramen, jail top ramen. Like clear TVs. I've never seen. You guys ever seen a clear top ramen package? I don't buy top ramen ever. I did right before I got in here. Some of these flavors I've never seen, chili but I don't look, so I don't buy top ramen. Maybe they have. So you ever seen a clear top ramen package? Where you sneaking in there, huh? Remember, you can fix the side of your dresser with top ramen. I think that was just a meme. So, Jill top ramen, like your clear TV. Good for you, Nathan. You know what I'm saying? But even like if you could just put a little bit on, like some of there was a couple times I made hash brown potatoes, like a square, you know, hash browns, not the slice, you know, like through a grater. them up. I'm sure that, and that was your baked potatoes. So you didn't have any salt or any, so people, these type of things, man, just a little bit of that on, flavor on stuff goes a long way. And I know why these are super, whatever. If you've never been locked in jail, they know what I'm talking about. Your jailhouse burrito or anything. But anyways, we'll on this stuff. Make a spread. There you go. So you can make a spread. Say I like getting the egg in the morning, the bake or the hard boiled egg, saving that, putting that in with the ramen. There was everything in there. They had jalapenos and I'm not saying sriracha and hot sauce. Why? You could throw that in a guard's face. So it's weird. Some of the stuff they have, or they had, and I know that it's not always that way, and that people are, but just seeing some of the stuff in there, I was like, damn, I know there's a reason. I've been, I worked in jail, guys, so I know what it's like to have that role. That's what I said. I tried to be a role model inmate when I'm in there. I don't act a fool when I'm in there. I don't lick no boots or anything, but you treat people how you want to be treated. How about that? So I actually told the one guy, the Hispanic guy, man, you're the first one to go, man. You don't say thank you. You don't have no emotion. You're treating us like we're a dollar sign or a number. And when they come, because the text coming quick, I actually told the guys, hey, the one guy who would smile and treat you, whatever, with, some kind of dignity or a human being or some kind of respect, not like you're a number or like a slave or a dollar sign. I said, hey, what's that name? And I don't want to give up his name. It is what it is. He's a Hispanic guy, and they have more than one, so I won't give up, But he has no emotion. You know what I'm saying? And how you treat people is how you're going to be treated. So if somebody's, trying to somewhat be cordial or human with you, you think you'd act like with some humanity. So I sat down. I got down on one knee, and I'm looking up at the guy, the flap, won't talk about what goes through that hole. But I said, hey, who's that guy? What's his name? Because, this text coming, right? And normally I just sit there and shut up, whatever. But I said, that dude's the first one to lose his job. I said, an android can do a better job than him. And plus, an android doesn't ask for 401k or days off or Christmas off and, any shifts off, and they don't get sick and they don't cheat on the boss's wife and come to work without their pants on. They don't need pants. Maybe. You'll just have to know, because good stuff. Yep. Thank you, Marissa. I'm trying to hang in there. I'm a little tired. Like I said, my eyes hurt. I haven't slept. I was having problems with my eyes in there a lot. My eyes hurt a lot. So I told these guys, I said, you better tell that guy he's the first one to go, because every one of these, they're going to have robots in jail, brothers and sisters. I'm sure they will. 60% of China's automated. They're going to put them in jail. It's actually kind of a brilliant place to put one, because if a prison guard is going to act just like that guy, it'd do a much better job. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense to you. Like America, that makes not a single penny. So if you hear what I'm saying, everybody's going to lose their job to a robot, in one end of the business, because it'd just be cost efficient. They're going to keep the business open, that it doesn't get sick. And so in a jail, who cares? I can understand in a company and, but dude, jail, why not just throw robots in there? I'm not calling for it, but I just think it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can have a guy like that who, requires days off. Robots don't take days off. Robots don't take shifts off. So, do you tell that guy he's first to go? He better start acting with some humanity. And they're laughing. They're like, do you? Smile like that. Yeah, you're right. So, cool. So, I don't want that, guys, at all. You know what I'm saying? Well, we're going to go there, and I don't want to go that far yet there, Nathan. We know that, right? That's coming. The first Christians, though, right? The lollipoppers, the paper Christians, whatever religions, I'm saying. It doesn't have to be Christianity, Catholicism. How about that? All the deadly headwind that was healed, blaming, paganism, Visigoths, Vandals, the triple gender God. They're 3-in-1 God with Christianity creating Catholicism. So, you drinking what I'm pouring. All right. Good stuff. So, What an experience, though. You know, Father, he doesn't make it easy on me, I can tell you that. So, um, holiday Christians, good. Yeah, they celebrate, you know, tell they lies to their eyes. So, we live in an age where I hope people would be past that, you know, but they're not. The whole world's doing it. Or the commercials are doing it. The TV announcers are doing it. They're all doing trees and Vatican and lighting them and putting, you know, and there's everybody's doing it. Come on, man, be like Nike, be like Phil Knight, and just do it. Slam junk like 23, Michael Jordan, Marvin the Martian. So, yeah, I apologize. I'm not a little more exciting, or they're not like that. You know, I'm just being me. It's just I'm a hurting unit. I've been ruined, guys. That experience really hurt me pretty hard this time. I guess I'm not that young anymore, and I'm okay. I just I don't know. I feel like there was some kind of variable going on there. Is all I tell you. Is just there's not. My body feels like I just took heroin for 3 months. I don't do. Remember, I told you why and how and when, and you know, it feels gassed, and felt like I was drinking gas petroleum water that was mixed with pond liner scum. That was their water there, and all the guys. You know, some guys just don't care. They put all that stupid Kool-Aid and all that, you know, sugar and calcium and none of that. I don't do none of their packets. None of their. I drank 2 cups of milk, which was ugh. Milk is disgusting. Uh, you know, but it's I had to do this, brothers sisters, because I'm not hiding from anything, and I already put out this thing. I want you guys to go. If you guys can do this for me, we'll do a little experiment. If you can help me on this channel, I want you to get into your Google or search engine, whatever one you choose, and copy the word manifest necessity and put it in the chat what that is. Might have to break it up, and I don't want and tell everybody. So I put out a video about this already, because this is very important. I filed an appeal. I'm not trying to give away anything, but this is what it is. I put videos about this, asked my attorney not to do this to me. I asked the courts, don't do this to me. You know, I mean, I did. I was like, let's take it to trial, but, you know, let's find Elijah and Adrian. Let's stop playing your, you know, my son is somewhere either murdered or, remember, and they don't want to listen to me. So I said that too. I didn't go on the witness stand, but from, you know, a seated and then stood up position at the microphone, I said murder again, and nobody came and talked to me, brothers and sisters. Now my court, I think it's ironic. My son's not here, and you know he could be murdered, and nobody's looking for him. And where's my daughter? And so, what does that mean? Manifest necessity. Copy it in your search engine and show everybody here in the chat what it is. I've already done a YouTube video live stream about it here in the past. You can go back and look. So it's covered under your 6th Amendment. This has to deal with the right to call witness, the right of discovery, the suppression of evidence, the right of trial. That's your 6th Amendment. So what are you getting? Because they just violated my rights again, and I already know my rights, so I'm not going to try to step in the way. Father's going to take care of it from here. I really put it like, not like a death, you know, but he put the parable, the figure of speech, he put the final nail in the coffin. So I want you to Google the word manifest necessity and make a copy of what it says in their definition and put it in the chat for me, guys. Let's get a couple, at least a few of you, please. I'm trying not to ask too much of you, but I want you to understand what I'm going through. So what's the responsibility, and whose responsibility if that happens, to declare the mistrial? Whose responsibility is it? Because that is a mistrial. Guys, you think I wanted this? You know what I mean? Father does this, so here we are. A whole another lawsuit. No, that's it. But who has to declare the mistrial at that point in time to save from double jeopardy? it might not say it in yours. Okay, we all are going to get a little bit different definition. That's what's crazy about this, and it all means pretty much, if you look through, there is the legal under the Fourth Amendment. I've seen the legal definition of what it is, but they put a different of the same thing. So I'm just trying to show you here, who's responsible for this taking place. You got to put the accountability is all I'm trying to show here. I'm going to continue to document on felony probation, which is not, they come mess with me at any time and do something, and just, Father will make them do whatever they're going to do, but I don't want to go to jail again, so I have to file these lawsuits whether I like it or not. So can't file it today, but I'll be going tomorrow to make this, start this long, hopefully he'll short and grueling process. By a judge, thank you. That's supposed to be declared by the judge, Marissa. And he didn't do that. There were more witnesses. Elijah was driving the car. I told him not to drive the car. They should have had Elijah there. And I had demanded that from my attorney. And I have demanded that from the state police, the Lake County. I've demanded that from Judge Vandenberger that he look into this. I've demanded that from the district attorney. I demanded they looked at my YouTube evidence that I didn't have any evidence brought in my favor. Remember? I went to trial having my Sixth Amendment violated, the right to call witness in my favor, the discovery that is brought in case in my favor to clear me of my, but, I'm saying it's a mistake on not only the judge's part, but even my attorney's part. It is what it is. Father does what he wants. So it will come out in appeal, though, because it's not in this county's hands anymore. We're getting interrupted. To get it back up, it might interrupt here. We got a lot of wind out here. Some rain and wind, some weather. 100 miles an hour out here. Yeah, you're right. It's me. So, that is the Sixth Amendment right of trial, brothers and sisters. Under the Fifth Amendment, if they're going to cost your body, throw you in a cage, and put you under trial, that's your Sixth Amendment. Right to fair and speedy trial, the right to discovery, call witness in your favor, the suppression of evidence, and the right of discovery. A witness, not calling a witness into my trial, is a mistrial. But I understand where John was coming from, but that's not, he didn't do his job. It's period. I just have to, I'm not saying, speaking out of order, I'm not saying anything good or bad. That's what happened. He should have set a summons for Elijah's. If the cops knew where he was, he should have set a summons. The cops should have went and looked for him. He should have been there. Adriana should have been there. But they dropped her charges. So there is no conspiracy charge. That way, Josephine County lied to me and told me there was no contact order. Adriana's charges were dropped back in September. They should have went and looked for Adriana. Josephine County is on the hook for Adriana's death. And so is the seated judge, because he didn't ask where Adriana was at. She was in the car too. He knows she sat in front of him under Dan Spencer. I don't think it was anybody else, and heard that she got charged with the same charges as me, and she was in the car. You know what I'm saying? It just, my rights were violated again. So they can't go any further with this. I need, like I said, because it's in the appeal. So that goes to the state. There's not a jury. They don't look at it like that. 90% of plus cases that go to appeal get overturned, because they actually pull out and look at the evidence. You guys got to imagine, all the jury saw was the cop following us down at 55 miles an hour, which took a few minutes to get down the driveway to go 3 or 4 miles, however long he turned on his lights. I couldn't, whatever, I wasn't paying attention. I don't care. It don't matter. I have what is called affirmative defense, the right of my Fourth Amendment to be secure in my house, papers, persons, and effects, to avoid illegal prosecution by, protecting myself. My actions would be justified in a civil and criminal trial. Now, they already put me in a criminal, and now I'm going to go through this civil. My actions are justified. It's called excused defense, justification defense. I did videos on this already, on this thing. That's under my 6th and 4th Amendment. Right of trial to protect myself from being thrown into that situation. So my actions would be excused if they did. So in my, lawsuit, they're done. They cooked their own goose. So they made their own bed. They should have never taken me to trial without having my son and daughter there. So that's negligence on my attorney's part too. So it is. Humanity to look into it. So I can't change it though. Father did it. He made him do it. So it's hard to fathom that it just happened. Because I told him average 10%. I think it's much higher than that. What I've looked into, but hey, we all get different information, but I'm taking it to Supreme Court. Actually, I want this thing dropped immediately, and then they're gonna get it because they're all gonna get lawsuits to include the federal government. I called the Department of Justice at a federal level and state. So them not servicing Elijah and Adriana that day is going to be criminal behavior because they didn't even have a warrant for her arrest. They should have went and made sure she was safe or alive. They really fucked up that day. Josephine County did. So all this will come out in trial. So I have a 99% certain of overturning on this case alone because of all the evidence, like co-counsel. It's a mistrial because of conflict of interest for having an attorney to give each one in a case to co-counsel defendants. It's co-counsel called co-counsel, and Dan Spencer represented my son, myself, and my daughter. Can't do that. There's too much in this case. That's what I'm saying. No, they haven't looked at anything. None of this was brought up in court. All the jury saw was me going down the road, telling my son not to stop, telling him to get out of the car. They didn't know why I told him not to stop the car. They didn't have no idea about probation. They didn't hear from Elijah. They didn't see Adriana. That's a mistrial. No, don't worry about it. Like I said, I already told you. Let's just focus on my case at this point. So nobody ever said 180 hours. They had no idea why I was not letting Elijah stop the car. My attorney said he didn't make you physically stop the car. You can't convict him. You have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. The burden of proof is on you if he did not provide a vehicle for him, it's not his because the officer said it's not his vehicle. You can't convict him of providing a vehicle. And because he physically didn't stop him, that's not hindering prosecution. His son could have stopped, pulled over. He's a grown-ass man, and he was so confident that he was going to win on that he lost. Father had another plan for him. So that's his negligence not to call my son or at least send out a summons for them, a jury notice to appear, to a jury. And that's negligence on state. Josephine County did not go look for Adriana. Her charges were dropped back in September. I had reported her murder to Josephine County. So I'm not saying anything I didn't already say. So there is going to be lawsuits at county, Lane, Lake, Josephine County, state of Oregon, and the federal government for not getting out here sooner and investigating this criminal behavior of these public tyrants. And this criminal now who convicted me when he should have dropped this under manifest necessity and declared a mistrial. Because they'd already dropped Adriana's charges. And suppose Elijah's out there on the run. They made a serious mistake, and I can't change it. And neither can my attorney. He knows Elijah didn't, or did not. He did those hours and didn't deserve any of this. Not deserve, because I hate that word. I do. I hate the word deserve, but he had already done his probation 2 times. 180 plus 130 plus hours, and that's criminal, enslaving somebody to probation. He was the attorney on through this the whole time. I made calls to him. He said, well, that's hearsay. I said, okay, hearsay can be brought into discovery, John. I had some arguments with my attorney. I've been practicing law since 82. He has gotten his bar since 82. So I think he's just a little too cocky. Hey, I like John Cleo. I said the first time I saw him, I saw hammerhead sharks and white, great white sharks spinning around in his eyes. And that's kind of the attorney you need. But he got too cocky. And he didn't give me, I want an itemized list of how much money I spent and how much time he put into this, because this is a bunch of crap. I don't care about money. it is what it is, brothers, sisters. Like I said, probably better that I don't even talk about this, but I don't have anything to hide. I want this looked at. You know what I'm saying? I cannot believe that I just went through a trial and nobody even asked, well, why didn't Elijah stop the car? Why did I didn't go on to the witness stand, which I wanted to, but I would have been thrown in contempt. They didn't want to hear me. I had my last after verdict there. We got him. We can extort his merchant number. What do you want to say? Anything? Yeah, I'm. How am I here without my son and daughter here? I reported my son murdered in this courtroom multiple times. Okay, put him in handcuffs. Take him to the back. I want the FOIA request done on that case. I want to bring that back up, and they're done. You already put what man. No, we're not going to have that in this case, though, Marissa. You know what I'm saying? That is what the right of appeal, though, will bring out. So my right through civil lawsuit is that they violated my Second Amendment by taking my weapons under this extreme risk order for me telling Josh Bazell to go look for my son and then get retaliatory charges of harassing police, menacing the police. That's a separate lawsuit against his bond, civil, that he, I want to see his duty phone. Is he the cop who ran over my totem pole, the desert rat totem pole? Remember, the cops were running over my driveway pole at the end of my driveway. Who did he call when the cops were harassing and menacing you? They turned around and filed harassing and menacing charges against me. The accountability on these officers are going to be brought into discovery. They have to. At this point, I will take this case to the Supreme Court. I will do this until my very last breath on this rock. Father made me to do this, so I don't think it's going to take long once this goes to somebody actually will look at the evidence, the discovery in the case. Once we bring up YouTube, we have to look at all the YouTube evidence, not just their one video that I had of me. We have to look at my 258 hours. We have to look at all this. The feds need to come in and figure out what they want to do with me. Have I broken any laws? I haven't. I have the right of affirmative defense. I have the right to protect myself from illegal prosecution. That's under my Fourth Amendment right. You can bring me to trial. Remember, excuse and justification defense. Excuses, that me telling Elijah not to stop the car. I didn't break the law. That's why my attorney said he didn't break the law. You have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. He stopped him. His son could have said, fuck you, Dad. I'm pulling over. I don't care. Fuck off, Dad. He didn't have to jump over the fence when I told him to jump over the fence. He had to stop the car. He's a grown-ass man. And I feel bad for that because, like I said, the whole thing that I tell you, I don't give a shit. I was covering for my son. I already told you, He talked me into let him driving because he didn't get a race car like me. His uncles, his papa, he drives those little cars because we were going to take his wife a shower. We just thought it was going to be just up the road and right back. So father doesn't make mistakes. It's exactly how Lance Brown. I want Sam Birch too. I want Sam Birch's bond. I'm going to bring in discovery. I want all these people federally investigated by the federal government. If they don't, they're in a world of hurt. I'm not stopping. I'll do this until my very last day. I have nothing else to do in this life but this full time. So until this gets taken care of, I can't call my son and daughter because their well-being and bodies and life are at risk of death or already murdered. And if I even call them, and now I could call my son and daughter right now after 19, almost 20 months here. I can finally call him, and I can't because he doesn't have a phone, and he hadn't had any action on his phone for 8 or 9 months. When they went missing, he went missing, they say in September, October, November, December. That was 4 months before his trial. They said he went missing, but they sent me a summons to a notice to appear to his trial in November when he was on the phone in October. See, I've already done all this. These people, this is going to come out. You know what I'm saying? Well, you guys, that's fine. I understand. I appreciate your no faith in this system. But if you listen to what I'm saying, these are civil lawsuits. This lawsuit is not in the courts like that. You know what I'm saying? This is done civilly. So at a civil, I can find them to be criminally liable and sue them, which I already should have done because I'm too nice and I'm done being nice. So, yeah, so nothing's happening. It's not me. Father creates all this calamity, chaos in my life. So, like I said, I thought I would want to come here and not talk about it. But whatever. I'm not hiding. I'm not saying anything that I didn't already put out YouTube videos on this channel. I've already told you about manifest necessity. I already told you about your Sixth Amendment, your right to call witness in your favor, right of discovery and suppression of evidence. I've already told you about the right of co-counsel. I've already told you it's an assault. If you serve a warrant on somebody, you have to have, what is called use of force. You have to have, a reason to grenade me in the face. Me asking Elijah, are you okay, is not justification for an assault on my eardrum, my eye, and 5 tear gas canisters is battery. Attempted murder to hit me in the face with a projectile that's meant to be thrown into a room to fill with smoke, or gas or concuss, not direct projectile to somebody's face. I want that man put onto trial for criminal, finding him liable for attempted murder. I think I have a strong case of that. Start at civil to find him criminally liable and then put him in prison so he can see what it's like to sit there and lay on a hot cot. Some people are not trying to take their livelihood. That's assault at the minimum and battery. They did it to my daughter and son. You say they shouldn't be held accountable because they threw a grenade because they didn't even have a warrant for Adrian's arrest. They dropped her charges because they didn't have the evidence. No go is what she said. I said, don't stop. Same thing. No go, don't stop. Elijah, don't stop. Her charges were dropped for the same thing I just was convicted of. You can write a movie about it, brothers, sisters. So that's what I'm going to do with it. Well, qualified, but remember, when they break the law, they lose their qualified immunity. So qualified immunity means that they can lie to you, they can tell you, I'm not going to arrest you. They can, but they're still going to probably arrest you anyways. And when they break the law by hitting you in the face with a grenade, which is assault and battery, on my face and my daughter's body when she was inside a vehicle without, a warrant, that she didn't have a warrant, and they assaulted her, that's assault and battery. She has an instant case too. I've already put that out. Why wouldn't Adrian not have filed maybe they did. They left and they're gone and they're rich. No, they still have a warrant out for Eliza's arrest. She hasn't filed her lawsuit. She's probably dead. Why haven't her parents called me too? That's insane. I don't know her parents like that, but why isn't anybody looking for her? She went missing in September. Well, no, her charges were dropped in September. Elijah went missing in September. Really? So I know what I'm talking about here. I'm glad that it's out of the county. I'm going to work to try to get my probation moved because I think it's conflict of interest to be thrown right back in the probation that fucked my son over and probably got him killed. And I said that to the head of probation. You're responsible for the death of my son. And I had people all over the world calling your office and you never called me back once. Well, because you're not on probation. I said, well, I am now. And now you're my probation officer. So you gotta help me. No, we need to work it. Stop with your word salad. So throw me right back in the system of the wolves. And this pack of wolves that ate my son did what they did and got him murdered because they won't look into the evidence. Josephine County responsible, Lake County responsible, Lane County responsible. All of the judges who were seated on this case, to include Pat Wilkie from Josephine County, who I reported my son murdered in his county, who didn't stop that pre-trial readiness hearing and say, now, wait a minute, you just said your son was murdered in the county I'm a judge in? We're going to take a pause here and take a recess. And nope, I don't know what you're talking about. I guarantee you put him on a polygraph or lie detector test, he'll fail, and so will Vandenberg. So it is what it is. Crusher Braun. Huh. Yep, Crusher Brensman. She's going to be held liable too, the head of probation of Lake County. So no more of this. I'm taking this trial. This will be RICO charges on this case. You know what RICO charges are? That's extortion. Look how much money they just extorted me 5 years ago when this case started. This case ain't Elijah not driving down the road. This case started 5 years ago, almost 6 with the COVID. This happened right after basically almost the declaration of the COVID. That was actually remember, that was March 11th. He said, I come quickly, let no one take your coronavirus. He didn't say that. He said crown. Remember the crown virus? Like Corona beer? Maybe Budweiser is the king of beers, right? So Budweiser. So all right, might be wise for me to get off here for a little bit, take a little bit of break. I did eat, but I need to stop for a little bit, and I'll come back in here and we'll stand up and we'll do the board. So So I will seek RICO charges on this case. I do believe I have a RICO case here over and over again. Where is the 40 pounds of silver? So where's Elijah? Where's Adriana? Where's the 180 hours? Where's your proof he didn't do it? They didn't even show me any of that. So they will look at it, or I'll take this. I will. I'm taking this to Supreme Court. I want this to go federal too. I don't even want it to state. I think it's a conflict of interest. The state police were involved. I already asked for a change of venue, which means it should have never been tried in this county to begin with. So I have record of that. Go look at my videos. Change of venue. I put videos, live streams about change of venue. Ask Paul Palmer, the attorney that supposedly called and couldn't get the CAD call to my daughter being raped, and they said they can't go look for him because I'd come arrest me instead of going to look for my daughter, who they didn't have a warrant for, and her charges were dropped. They said there was no contact order. They made a serious mistake that day. And I need to be calling Josephine County now to start Marshall's lawsuit too. Remember, rat a snitch, rat a bitch. I don't know what he is, federal or what, who he is, but remember, he's the man who said, hey, I can hide your kids in these, your son and daughter in the caves out here in the gold mines right behind his house. Or that driveway goes right up to it's the only property that does that. None of the others do. And that's the Gulch. That is a major gold bin in the past. Go look it up. You don't know anything about Josephine County, Wolf Creek, like Pat Wolke or Pat Wolfie. Yeah. Good thing I'm a dog, huh? I'm always warning you, the wolf in dog's clothing, acting like a shepherd, like you're going to try to lead you, right? You see where this led me, but Father did it, so I'm not mad at anybody. I don't seek any vengeance. Not doing any of this out of spite. I've been doing this for accountability, and I've just been too nice. So I do feel like I have PTSD bad because I'm laying there and I'm not sleeping, and it's just not stopping. I mean, my mind will not shut off. And so I probably need to seek not a psychiatrist, but counseling, and probably go ahead and claim my Social Security too at this point, because they've robbed me of that too. And if I could have had a little help or something like that too, I could have. I don't know. It's not about money, but maybe God allows you a different attorney, a better attorney. I don't know. Father created all this, so appreciate you guys being in here, seeing the your regulars. I'll try to come back in for the end of the day. If I don't lay down and pass out, I don't know what's going on. I just feel horrible and toxic right now. And where we go? I'm out with my bone. He's so happy to have Dad home. Yes, he is. He's a good boy today. He's went to town with the Dad, huh? Don't you give me kisses. So good to see you guys. Appreciate it. I haven't seen my kitty. I think he got run off, but I think if Dad's back home, he might come back. I don't know where he go. Hopefully he's on the back of the property. What are you doing, Bubba? Bone? My bones? He was so excited to see the Dad. Were you excited to see the Dad? Yes. Were you excited to see the Dad? Yes. My dad's home. So, I didn't get to tell you this, and I need to say this. This is so crazy, guys. And this is as real as it gets. Hey, now, don't overdo it. Listen, I'm laying there all yesterday, night, laying on puffy clouds of pillows and my fuzzy blankets, and I couldn't be any more comfortable in my life. And my mind won't shut down, and I told you I don't do that, and I'm really not thinking. And when mine starts, they're like, dude, stop. There's nothing to do. Don't even think of anything. Just lay there and relax. Everything's, and I'm even laying on my back, and I'm totally comfortable. And I went through a lot of things in my mind for hours. I said, I'm just there laying there, and I did the same thing in jail, but not, and there I really wasn't even thinking much in jail. Tonight was getting out of jail after that, and getting out of that situation with everything going there, the lights, the food, the whole thing is, I think I'm just, my body without sleep, lack of nutrition is just way overwhelmed. I told you, I feel like I've been toxified, drugged. I don't know what they gave me. It is what it is. I'm not saying they did or didn't. I said I took melatonin and had separate trays, so it could be possible, could be a possibility. But I was laying there, and I started thinking about tango for a minute, and how much I miss tango, and then I thought about the kitty, my Juniper and Yasher, because I thought about, and as soon as I thought about Juniper, and she was right under. She's not coming inside. She don't stay inside. She likes to be outside. They have the whole back of the semi trailer and the other semi with big pads, and they've got multiple places. They sleep in the motorhome. They got cats got run whatever they want out here. But I'm telling you, and I was like, oh my God, I'm thinking. And then I thought, and as soon as I thought about it, she sounded off. I said, no way, I thought about it, and so. Because she was whining when I got home. She was so excited to see me. I think she misses Yasher too. But I stopped thinking about her for a minute and was like, because she was getting a little annoying. I mean, like, she started real soft, and then, like, that's crazy. I'm sitting there and thinking about her. She knows I'm thinking about her. She's right underneath me. It's like, where the hell is she at? She sounds like she's in the house. Like, she got in the house, and I knew she wasn't. But she literally was sleeping back where she knew that I was right above me, right? And then I stopped thinking about something else, and then, and I was like, dude. And then again, I started thinking about her in my mind. I was like, that's crazy. I'm telling you, like 3 times, guys. I know that sounds crazy and loopy or whatever you think, but as soon as I would think about her, I mean, the first thought of her in my head, she slowly whimpered. I'm like, she was back there. She senses when I was thinking about her, guys. I know that sounds crazy, but it's good to have her. I'm glad she's here. I'm serious. As soon as I thought her, and then I stopped thinking about her for a while. I actually did it a couple times. You know what I'm saying? Not good. I think I just didn't eat and didn't sleep. That's what I was talking about. My eyes are done. The commercials were Satanist and terrible right before Christmas. It was just yeah. But I'm telling you, she was sleeping underneath this semi. There's room under there, but she was right underneath me, back there. And then actually, when I did it the 3rd time, I heard her up on the roof. 2 times down there. I didn't hear her jump on the roof, but she got right over the top. I guess because she knew I was talking to her, or she knew I was right. Sure, she's there and knew I was up there because I have a lofted bed, about the height in jail of the bunk. And then the 3rd time that I thought about her, she was up above, right above me. Cool. Yeah, I got a set of crows out here. One of the crows took one of our birds out here. So that's all right. It is what it is. I mean, can't change it. But I thought that was incredible, guys. She is such a sweetheart. I love her. She's such an awesome cat. She's so fat. I guess Kevin didn't do it. He said, I didn't do a good job of feeding the cats. I went over there a few times and filled their bowl all the way up. But no, I didn't take very good care of your cats. I said, it's okay, man. There's plenty of food out here. So I do think that's why Yasher's gone. He had to go fend for himself. And, he likes Juniper. I think he wants to do it kitty style or something. Feed the kitty. I don't know, whatever. So, but hopefully he'll come back and he's on the back of the property. But been calling for him all day and all night yesterday. But I'm glad I still have her around, and hope this didn't drive off Yasher. And didn't lose him, because I sure love him a lot. I just love that cat. He's so mellow and awesome. He's a stud. He's such a good cat. And he misses Tango so much too. So, but he might just be out there hunting, because he knew Kevin wasn't giving him regular food, so he might have snapped into food mode. Okay, Ryan got it. So, yeah, Nugget's got a thing, and he's a pretty big cat. He's a big orange cat. He's a big cat. He's not small. I mean, he's not fat, but he's a big cat. So I think he might have handed it to Yasher a couple times, or Yasher just said, hell, I ain't fighting over that. I'll just go, get some. I appreciate you coming in. It's good to be back. I mean, I'm trying to push through this stream and save myself a little bit so I can come back for the end of the night and stand up and do the board and show you guys the crossing of the equinox and get a teaching in on that. I know it's written backwards, but we can still get the gist of what's so I might actually lay down for a couple hours. I don't know. I never lay down during the day, but I think maybe I got about an hour's sleep last night, sleeping on the clouds, as comfortable as I can be. Like I told you, but my mind wouldn't shut off. Every time I get to think about it, why are you thinking about something? I don't know. What are you doing? Why are you thinking about anything? That's stupid. The only thing that was awesome was thinking about my girl, because she was there. So her first is real faint, but uh, did you read so things with Stoner? I don't have anything's going on with Stoner. So but maybe he'll come back. I miss him. And he's probably just out there hunting somewhere, because I know Juniper is fat. She's fat. You know what I'm saying? She didn't miss a meal out there. And she's a crazy hunter too anyways, and a feeder, but she is chunky. So she definitely yes, thanks, Sabrina. I'm going to end this one here. And but thanks for being a part of this, guys. Thanks for staying connected with Kevin. Thanks for the support of the ministry. And it is good to be back. And hopefully Yash will come back. He's just out there hunting, and he come back all full, and so maybe that dad's back and he knows I'm not here. He's just, when dad comes back, there's food in the bowl again. And Nugget is a food hog. He eats as much as like 3 cats, but he's a big cat. So he's hogging the food, you know what I'm saying, too, because I don't know, whatever it is, he always does that. He comes over and he eats all the bowl. Like, where'd all my food start disappearing? And I'm like, dude, food will last me 2 or 3 days in there that I put in there. And then all of a sudden I come out there, I'm like, there ain't no mice out here or whatever, but it was Nugget. I forgot his cat's been coming over, and when I passed out at night, I didn't hear it. I don't care about the cat eating the food, but just like, so I think that has a little bit to do with why Asher's not here. So, but I hope he'll show up again, and he's maybe somewhere at the back of the property. And matter of fact, I'm going to get off here and walk to the back. We just only have a little bit of light left, but love you, brothers, sisters. I'll see you again for the end of the day. Hopefully, if not, don't worry about it. It's just some paganist holiday. You should already know enough about this holiday not to be celebrating any of these things. So he fulfilled all the fees. He paid the bride price, the taxes. Remember, we're not supposed to stand against, with this, like he stood against, he paid the price for us, brothers, sisters. So again, if I don't come back in here, I apologize. I don't know. I just feel really weird right now, but I do want to try to prepare to come back for the end of the night. So maybe I can lay down a little bit, put some more food in my belly, and come back up. And if not, I will see you guys tomorrow. But I will try to come back in for the end of the night and stand up and do the board, because I can get to do it today. And I think it's pretty important that I do for the channel. I'm not here for me. This channel is, it's a body that come back on a regular basis. It's good to see you guys, the regulars, come back and spend your time here, because you can't print it. You would be the price of silver right now. Holy crap, guys, $71, But I told you, I went to the store today and got $4 change. Actually, the cheeseburger basket is $10.99 or $10.50. And I asked if I can get it in change. She said, we can't sell rolls of quarters. I said, no, I need to do laundry. But she gave me $4.50 because my change was $9.50. $4 in quarters. Did you get any change today? Do not go to the store if you use cash and not try to get back some that and change. $2, $3, $4, or $5 in change. Just tell them you're doing laundry. I don't care if it's quarters. I'm just saying things are going to go by. The system's changing very quick. So I want to leave you with a couple little gems before I go here. I don't care about money. You know that. It's not about that. But there's ways, I do think copper will be the poor man's gold, or silver, if you will, because silver's getting really expensive, and you ain't seen nothing, because price is irrelevant. It's manipulation. It's the ratio that I pay attention to. So, heck, a silver quarter is like $13. A silver dime's $5 now for a silver dime. 5. Remember, there's 14 of those in an ounce. So fractionalization, might want to, if you can have any hoards of copper, get yourself a smelting machine and start breaking it down into small fractional and get the weight on it and make it something that's an ignet. And it's copper. It's not going to get you rich, but it might be a good trading item. And well, you have enough wealth, and that makes you wealthy, right? I don't care about being rich, but right, stack enough gold and silver and you are wealthy, right? It might just keep going up. I don't think we're going to see any, and I'm not making any predictions. I'm just looking at the commercials that I've seen when I went into jail, that were silver commercials, and there were tons of them. I asked all the guys, you ever seen a silver commercial before? You ever seen a gold commercial? Maybe once or twice. Nothing but gold and silver commercials too when I was locked up, guys. It's incredible how much the public eye is now. I have a Silver's Like Gold channel, whatever, probably do need to get a hold of the Josephine County to see if there is any of that silver and gold left from what Marshall took from me. I mean, that was 40 pounds. I think it was 39. I mean, I was almost at 40 pounds. And all that's gone. And that's a lot. What is 40? There's 14 ounces. What's 14 times 40? Somebody do this math. 14 times 40 times 71. What is that? All right. Yeah. Wait, why would the country have the silver? Well, like I said, I had 40 pounds of silver, right? There's 14 ounces, there's 12 ounces. My bad. 12, right? An ounce times 71. So take 12, not 14. 12 times 40. 12 times 40 times 71 plus the premium. It's like more than that. It's like $75 if you want to have it in your hand. And I had premium. I had Mexican. This is all my Mexican silver, man. That's the thing that bummed me out, and I don't care about it. So that was 14, but it's a lot of money, guys. There's another couple double cab comas. I could have a nice overland vehicle for that. I could put this property on the grid for the ministry and not even do anything for myself. You know what I'm saying? So, but the premium's going to be higher. So that's pretty wrong. I had some pretty decent pieces. I'm not saying that. I didn't collect numismatic, but I had Mexican silver is a lot more. It is. Go look up the price of an ounce of Mexican silver, probably $80, $90 for an ounce of Mexican silver. And it is my favorite silver. I love Mexican silver. I don't love it like that, but not love of money, but I don't love it. It has, it's the purest silver mine. I enjoy the what's on it, what it is, and he took my booby coins. I had the lady who on their Libertad had whatever. If you know what I'm talking about, she had kind of pokey nipples this time, guys, and I didn't care about it. It was just an oddity. I'm just some of the stuff that I've been good at collecting it through all the years, lost the first 25 pounds and hope never to. I should have spent it, remember? When Elijah told me, so it is my fault for not listening to my son. All this would have probably never happened if I just would have, listened to him and took it and bought the double cab, went on the road. So, wow, can't believe how far I am into this. I think the battle has just begun with this case at a state level. So I got a long road to go and lots of lawsuits to file. So I might be able to purchase some silver and gold again someday. I sure lost a lot on this case. That's what I had to pay John, the attorney, who really didn't. I think well, it is what it is. So it is what it is. He did what he did. Everybody in this case did what they did. So even I did what I've done. So I hold myself accountable just as much as any other man in this case. So, but thanks for the conversation. The reason why I was kind of putting that out too is that I do think in the future, because sometimes I front run things way ahead of time, that if you listen to me right now and you can get copper, because it is in a lot of things. And I'm not talking about ripping it out of the walls, and there is copper out there. There's ways to get it. You listen, and if you're a rat holder, you're like somebody who's footstuff or a scrapper or something, that there's a lot of it in washing machines, appliances and stuff. And you can start pulling this stuff out of these, e-waste and this stuff, and then smelt it down into what is called an ignet and start with half an ounce, quarter ounce, 1 ounce, and